Hello. Can anybody hear us? Oh my God! Maybe they couldn't hear. Hello, everybody. I see 3 people here. Can anybody hear us? Oh my goodness, we've been talking to ourselves like we feared.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, that's what happens when you've been off YouTube for a long time.
For 2 weeks.
We forget how to use the things.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome to our YouTube channel. We have the commonsensesisters.
Oof, it's been a while, man.
It's been a hot minute.
We're trying to relent this live stream again. After we've been away for a while. Whoa.
Oh my goodness. We see people joining in. Can you all hear us?
It's funny because we forgot to add ourselves to the stream.
Yes, we didn't add ourselves to the stream. So we're basically talking to ourselves for like, I don't know how
couple of seconds. But yeah.
Who
Anyways.
is in the house? Please comment in so that we know that we are not talking to ourselves.
I don't think we're talking to ourselves at this point. No.
Okay.
No.
That's good. Anyways, welcome everybody to today's live shows. We are the commonsensesisters. As you can see our beautiful faces in the picture right there. To the left
it's
is
Yo-Yo.
To the right is Ella.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we were away last week.
Yeah,
as we rightfully updated the community tab. But
if you know you missed us, let us know. We can see people are watching.
Yes,
but
yes.
nobody's
commenting. Maybe these are the silent ones that don't usually
comment.
So
oh yeah,
no pressure to comment. But
no
pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure is on. I think we'll just start with the announcement first before we get right into the gist of today and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we have one person commenting.
Hey Miriam! Longest time.
Yeah, Miriam.
How are you? Happy Saturday.
All right, everybody. Here are our squad obligations and the rules of the platform. The live video today, as usual, we have them up there. So our new subscribers, welcome to the channel. We'll see you all. We're happy with the growth that we're receiving.
Thank you so much,
everybody. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for sharing the video to our current squad members. Thank you so much for the people who engage with our content, the videos that we put out, whether it's on Saturdays or the daily videos that just come out. Thank you so much for engaging with those contents, and if you share them, thank you so much as well. Remember the rules of the platform is to be respectful, be open-minded, stay on topic, don't use bad words. Subscribe if you have not already subscribed. Hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever we post our videos or whenever we're live, and then like and share the video.
Yeah.
And if you're new to the squad, you can visit the About page to learn more about the Commonsensesisters and the Common Sense Squad. Our community page is where we update everything updatable. So when we're going live, if we have new videos or anything that's generally happening that we want to share with the squad, we put it up there on
the community tab. That's how we engage.
Yeah, we didn't have the poll yesterday, but we put out the link in the middle of the night. So you are here.
That means you saw it. Yes.
Yes, that means you saw it.
No poll
for yesterday. For people who were wondering, there was no poll at
yesterday.
No. And then there's the playlist too for you to binge watch all our videos. Watch the ads as well. Very, very interesting videos, that we used to have even up till now, even before we started doing the live show. So you can binge watch them and enjoy. And finally, you can find us on different social media platforms. So commonsensesisters everywhere you go. Apart from now there's a problem with Instagram.
Now, Metaverse, the people of Metaverse,
yes, Instagram
and Facebook, they had the temerity and the guts to
disable our
Instagram account.
So right now, you will not find us on Instagram for reasons unbeknownst to us. For the past 1 week now,
we're still waiting for customer service. So from Instagram,
Metaverse, or Facebook, or whatever.
How can a big company not have customer service? It's only robots will be communicating with
you.
Metaverse.
You send different emails. They responded back once or whatever. But I feel like that's a robot. But since then, we'll be sending emails. Virtually almost on a daily basis, and we've still not gotten our Instagram account back. Please. If you know anybody working in Facebook, if you are working in Facebook or Instagram or Metaverse, whatever their names are, whatever the name is called. Now, if you know somebody that is working in Instagram, I beg, tell them to unleash our Instagram account at Commonsensesisters. If you literally Google the account, you will see that Commonsensesisters is there. But once you click on it, it says it does not exist. How can you say we don't exist?
How can you say Commonsensesisters doesn't exist?
We exist now.
Do they know who we are?
We exist now.
Do they know who we are?
They don't give us our Instagram account back. In fact, if you know anybody that is working for Instagram, let me put our email right here.
Yeah, you make it with the scroll. Look, I don't know what's wrong with Mark Zuckerberg. How dare you disable the Commonsensesisters account?
Please tell them to release.
How can
to release our Instagram account.
Ladies,
email us. Let us get connected with them. This is our email address on the screen. On Common Sense Sisters, because sense is not common.
Exactly.
On Common Sense Sisters, let them release our in the name of Mark. Please, they should release our Instagram account for us.
What's going on?
1 week.
Anyway.
One week. This today makes it one week without our Instagram accounts. Is it fair? It's not nice now.
And not be saying with the good that they play.
All the beautiful comments that we've left in the past, it's like they just erased our history. It's like we just erased our
everything
on Instagram.
Where
it's not fair. Beg.
We find ourselves in the space for the meantime.
Well, right now we're in the space of Twitter. We are living in on Twitter. You know, we literally live there right now. So Twitter loves us and we love Twitter.
Yeah, let's hail our people.
Yes,
hello, Dr. Timothy. How are you?
Greetings.
How are you?
Greetings.
Hi, Egosa.
Make una take this summer, suffer. Una de
Dodge class. You say with the Dodge class, sir. Egosa, sir. Please, sir. Are you referring to Dodge, the name of the vehicle, which of the Dodge?
And which kind of class?
And in which class are we Dodge now? In which class?
Which class? Because we attend lectures. In fact, we got perfect attendance. Perfect attendance.
Have you been watching the obedient videos coming out?
We're not on the class, so I beg, please, which lectures have you been missing?
And are you referring to Dodge the vehicle or Dodge the Dodgers?
I've been at Dodge the dodgeball game. I've been at Dodge. Most of these Americans get everything they call
dodgeball.
Is it dodgeball? I've been at dodgeball. There's a ball
America will got talk.
There's a ball that they dodge.
Dr. Timothy, I don't know what's wrong with Mark Zuckerberg.
It's okay.
How Mark Zuckerberg keep us saying we're active on Facebook. Why are they engaged on Facebook? The Instagram of the inside now, where the juice of the common sense can be extrapolating and be carrying it everywhere.
People now release this account is very special. You know why? People know why this account is very
special.
The
history of this account,
this account goes almost 20. Next year will make it 10 years of this account on Instagram. This account is being followed by the most followed comedian. One and only Ewa is following us on this Instagram account. And Fuke Akindele Bello is
which we love them.
In which we love them. Yet we cannot lose this account. People said to release our accounts because our stars are following this account.
I cannot understand how stars will follow an account. Then Mark Zuckerberg has the guts.
Just erase
to lose it. He never erased us. So 1 week. Never erased us.
If it was the Facebook account, I would not even blush for that one. But this is common Instagram.
I mean, how dare you?
Waiting. Well, anyways, let's continue seeing where we see the
house. I know.
Dr. Timothy is saying, thank you.
The thing tires us. We get Twitter now. I mean,
we're leaving on Twitter.
Later, I think later on we'll get
into so we have to get this account back. I beg.
Yeah.
Waiting.
Oh, I hope they not the unknown soldiers hijack the account. Don't worry, it will restore. Thank you. I don't know if the unknown soldier.
See this account. We don't even get reach 2,500 followers for this account.
Or could it be the Nigerian government?
I don't know whether
could it be the Nigerian government because it's what be campaigning now.
Since I've been campaigning for Peter Obi for the last 1 month, they've been looking for where they'll be trying to obedient. I don't know.
Anyways, let's get to vasectomy.
Oh my God, we need that account, I beg.
Where did you scroll for
you? We don't suffer for that account, I beg.
Yeah, back to the topic of today. The next topic now.
And so they erase all our comments. Now that comment will vex me now because they relate to people for the comments for Instagram. Very, very sweet. That's them. What else do we say?
Where's the topic of today?
And where the topic?
Take the screenshot.
I take the picture. No worry, now I'll be full here. That's why I'm looking for it. Vasectomy, vasectomy.
Yes.
Today,
get a vasectomy or we will be celibate in our marriage.
That's the topic of today.
We know we ranted for 10 minutes and thank you for listening to our rant.
Yes, our cry. Our these people plea and cry. No, seriously, if you know anybody in Facebook or you work in Facebook or Instagram, I beg, tell them common sense sisters they should attend to our tickets. Thank you.
So this is the topic. The topic of this is get a vasectomy or we will be celibate in our marriage. Now, as if you know the common sense sisters that you are getting to know us, when it comes to relationship, we avoidably don't try to avoid it. Sometimes we have to avoid. But somebody sent us an email, and I believe it's a lady, sent us an email a while back, and we have been pushing. Well, we've been having other.
We've been having other live.
So we'll be putting it on the back corner.
I think this was a while back, probably. Was it not in May we sparingly talked about vasectomy in one of our live shows?
Yeah. I think afterwards that's when the lady sent an email to us, and she said, "This is what the email reads." She said, she's a common sense squad member.
We hope that she'll be watching today.
Hopefully, she's watching today. Madam, hope you are watching today. You man said, "My hubby and I have been married for a very long time. and our union has produced 3 children just as we planned. We both don't want more children. The issue now is he doesn't want to get a vasectomy and instead wants me to tie my tubes, which is a more invasive procedure than vasectomy. I told him I'm not going to do that. He should consider getting a vasectomy or will remain celibate. Those of you that are married, is it possible to remain celibate in the marriage? Let us know. She said, or will remain celibate as I won't consider taking any pills or nor implants in my body. So obviously she's no to any of those things. And she also said that she thinks her husband is being selfish. And she said, please do a video about it as I want to hear other people's thoughts and if they're experiencing the same dilemma in their relationship or marriage. So,
they laugh.
they laugh. As Roe versus Wade, Wade versus Roe.
Roe versus Wade. People that are living in the Americas, that Monday is your independence. Although women are not fully independent in that country due to this decision of Roe versus Wade.
Yes. In the wake of this Roe versus Wade, whereby the law, are you going to explain that this is what the Supreme Court did?
I know they explain. People should get ready by yourself. Well, they've overturned the ruling for the Roe versus Wade. I think that was ruled over 50, almost 50 years ago or so. That kind of helps with the abortion rights in America. So by the reversal of this law, abortion rights have been in the US is left to the states, and it's very dangerous for women, regardless of the situation. So whether it's consensual or not consensual, intercourse that led to having somebody pregnant is going to be very, very difficult. Genuinely very difficult now for any woman who decides that she wants to have abortion. So that's what the Roe versus. Anybody who doesn't know about the Roe versus Wade case can go and Google online about it.
But in light of this thing we're talking about today, I also have been reading some articles and I realized that it looks like Miriam is already ahead of the game.
Miriam saying men are like, we were sensing that when we did our video like
few months back when we talked about vasectomy, some men came on the platform that they do like say they won't faint out there. Woman ask for Baba. Small thing.
Vasectomy.
I read this past week. There's a doctor in Miami, a urologist, and he was saying that they've been seeing a rise in bookings. Men booking to want to get vasectomy.
We always have receipts. So let me even read. Let's go to the articles where it was.
So basically, I guess before we help this woman,
let us read it from the doctor's mouth himself.
Yeah, before we help this, we talk about this woman, we will see how men are taking the lead.
So if you see it here, obviously we don't have Instagram, so we cannot log in. Leave me alone. We cannot log in. We don't have Instagram. It says the decision. This was on the Shade Room. The decision to overturn Roe versus Wade has led to spike in number of men scheduling vasectomies across the country. The country is America. So according to Dr. Kristen Heitinger, a urologist in Kansas City, urology care, his staff has been overwhelmed with requests for information about vasectomies. Since Friday, we are up 900%.
900%.
900%. As a common women rights, women say, okay, vasectomy you shall go and get.
The women are on strike. Like the women on strike. The women are on strike. So the men are throwing their support.
They say since Friday, we are up 900% in people asking to get a vasectomy in America. He said, Doug Stein, a Florida urologist known as the vasectomy king, tells the Washington Post that before Friday, he received 4 or 5 vasectomy requests a day. Since the court's decision in Roe versus Wade was announced, that number has spiked to 12 to 18 requests per day. He says that many of the guys are saying that they have been thinking about vasectomies for a while. And the Roe versus Wade decision, just that final factor that tipped them over the edge and made them submit their online registration.
So men are taking
some men in the Americas.
They are doing the right thing.
Taking the by the horn.
Now, for this woman's case, this vasectomy, thank God there's a doctor in the house.
You say, oh my Lord. What does the Lord have to do with vasectomy?
If you people plan in the marriage that, okay, we're going to have 3 children, and you already have the 3 children, and the woman saying, I'm not doing any procedure. I mean,
let's even assume that with the 3 children space, during the space that they didn't have children, let's even assume that the woman was doing something that made her
not to get pregnant again.
They got the 3rd child, and she's seen that maybe reactions from all these products contraceptive that she's been taking in her
because
body.
the contraceptive they have side effects. Some women they become overbloated.
She doesn't. Now, talking about the woman this story. This is not me. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
she didn't say anything about taking contraceptive in the past. But I'm saying for her not to want contraceptive, maybe she's had an experience with it in the past, and she said, okay, since we've had 3 children now, the safest option
for this family planning
is for my husband to get a vasectomy.
Yeah,
and there is less painful.
It's less invasive.
It's less invasive. It's more work. It's more likely to work.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper from the research that we've done, because we know us, we've done research. So we'll be giving you different articles today on the vasectomy. And we'll also put the links in the description box after the live show so that you can go and read for yourselves as well. Let's see what Miriam is saying.
So Miriam is saying that men believe that if they get vasectomy, it will affect their performance in bed. That's the thing, the ignorance thing,
That's what we're coming to debunk today. All those myths, we're coming to demystify all of them today with research.
We were even seeing that in some parts of Africa, like Kenyans, Malawians, and I think South African, Malawians, South Africa, and the rest. There's been this awareness, I think especially in Kenya, and there's been this awareness, so whereby like people go for family planning, and the men are also educated on this option. It's because when they go for family planning, it's only the women. Only the
Anytime
women.
You talk about family planning, it's always women contraceptive. The highest they will tell guys is, use a French letter.
Yes, or something like that.
Simplest thing. So the thing, any contraceptive that I tell you to men, for the most part, it does not affect them in any way. It does not affect them in any way. But there's somebody that still wants it raw. They will say that they will pull out. And we're coming for the pulling out.
All those people that said withdrawal method, Baba. It's
not us that we answer them. It's Mama T of Florida.
Now I want to talk. I say we'll get person who will answer them for this live show. People that will say, "Oh, just the tip
of the iceberg."
When you're about to come, you will pull out.
Hey, when they are going,
How can you be driving your car, all of a sudden you pull out?
Once
you traffic it,
there's an accident.
Once you look at the left and look at the right and look at your 4 mirrors, know whether you are driving safe.
If you and your partner have already reached that conclusion, why not just get insurance with a vasectomy?
Baba, why don't you just contribute to the family planning? Make a sacrifice, sir. And also, there's another myth which will be debunked today, where men will come and say, "Oh, it affects their masculinity." Baba, will you shut up your mouth?
They destroy their esteem.
Your intercourse is not with your wife. Do you write on your chest or your partner? Do you write on your chest that you are going to advertise that? Oh,
do you write on your forehead that your name is Minister of Vasectomy King?
Make sacrifice. Some people say, "Oh, because of their ego, who your ego help?" The woman doesn't want to do all those things. I mean, she has given birth to 3 whole children.
I'm assuming for myself now, for the sake of assumption, because I don't know who this lady is.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that she's had experience with contraceptive in the past.
Or she just
during the time that they were mating for their 3 children.
Yeah.
Now, since they've gotten the amount of children that they want and they don't want kids anymore, why should the onus always be on the woman to avoid getting pregnant and putting all these things in her body, irrespective of however she reacts?
Yeah.
I've heard different stories of women who sometimes when they take all this contraceptive or whatever, different bodies react differently to it. Some people lose their XSS drive.
Yeah.
Different things. Some people gain more weight. Some people have pimples. Different things happen to women's bodies, irregularity of the periods and all of that. So it's like, why is vasectomy frowned upon? And that's what we're talking about this today. We have been seeing that it's only women that be commenting in these chat box.
The men are listening quietly.
You people,
the men are listening quietly. Men, when it's starting on some men, when it's to do bad things, they know they teach them how to research. But something that will help your relationship. And have some of you that are in a relationship now, you are afraid to discuss this thing.
Yeah, as part of your contraceptive.
You better be discussing this thing. When they put the ring on your finger there, they put the ring on your finger and now will be saying nonsense. You better discuss it, because it's very family planning is not a woman's job.
Solely job.
It's not men and women. And no, withdrawal method is not an option in a committed relationship, because we know it doesn't work.
I say, I'm married. Oh yes, precum can. Who from me precum? Precum can fertilize.
Withdrawal, no,
withdrawal was but not reliable. Okay. And go for the guy there.
I said withdrawal work, but it's not reliable.
I bet. When they be precum, I bet.
Hey, what is
when they be precum?
Oh, precum.
Oh, no, not before you two go come destroy.
Precum.
Please.
Oh, I don't even understand what that means. I don't even understand what that means.
Please, we're nothing but pencils in the hands of the creator.
Are you pencil? Yeah, so we did. I know the activity.
Now we needed that hyphen.
We needed that hyphen. We don't know if precum is practical.
Now that hyphen, we needed that hyphen to be able, because I know I read that for my Nigeria. I say precum.
I don't know whether precum is practical in a committed relationship. Because are you going to tell me now that every time you want to kwanga,
you want to unleash,
anytime you want to kwanga, it's just emergency, you will just remember that?
So they go sanction biology class.
But we
have been facing a lot behind the scene.
Yeah.
We have to, you two, they.
Are you telling me that every time you want to get
You
involved
want to go to the promised land, you will not revoke?
So you just come back from work now, you just say, oh, the kitchen table is the sacrificial lamb. Therefore, you will not remember that. Are you telling me that it's always in your memory?
Where in your memory?
I don't believe
you
it.
Just keep seeing the face.
I don't believe
when
it.
You are going high into cloud 9, you will say no. I have to remember I don't want children. Let me just withdraw from this topic.
Just the tip.
Let me withdraw from this class.
Then later now the lady will not no.
People have not yet reached their climax. They have not reached the sky. Their eye never go back.
Some of the men will say, don't worry, babe. I know. How can you say you know when you are with somebody that you are eating?
Sometimes if you are eating a bonus soup,
don't you lick the finger?
You want to lick all the fingers.
You don't even want the draw to go back.
So you tell me that you will just stop eating?
Just like that.
In the heat of the moment?
For your own partner.
Come on.
What if the woman says no? That's the time she's getting the climax. That's the time
where she reach sky. Where she touch the sky. You're saying you want to remove the sun.
When you just hit the G spot.
Come on. You do too, bro.
It depends what G spot is now.
It
can be a spot on the map.
Oh my goodness. Maybe not car. Maybe not vehicle.
It can be Google
Maybe it's a vehicle.
Let's see what you found in the research.
Please, in the research. Now let's go on to more thought-provoking situations.
Yeah.
So let's find out why some men who have gotten vasectomy, why some of them keep it a secret. And we'll also be talking about some of the myths.
It's a serious matter.
It's a serious matter. I forgot how they talk, but
those of you in relationships that will not be discussing the hard things.
Commonsensesters are here to help you. We're not here to help you. We're just here to disperse information. What the hell did I just say?
I'm not there to help you.
Your relationship is by your business. Anyways, BBC Africa Nairobi. And this Kenya, they are very vast, this kind of thing. So
Kenya seem to be very aware.
So we're going to talk about Michael today, and you guys can see what's going on the screen. So Michael is one of the few African men to have had a vasectomy, but he's ashamed. He tells BBC how cultural beliefs in Africa makes it impossible to talk about the procedure, which some experts believe could provide solution to the continent's rapid population growth.
Underline it. Continent rapid population growth.
That's why this children are not a gift from God.
People wanted to
fight us here and on Instagram, which is our Instagram account. Please, you people keep that in mind when you are going away today. That Commonsensesters are their Instagram accounts.
Michael, a noble African man.
I wanted it to be a gift to my wife, a sacrifice. He says, to show her I really love her, and I could go an extra mile to do something extraordinary. Michael is not his real name. He had a vasectomy a few months ago, but hasn't told anyone about this other than his wife. I would be very angry if anyone was to find out. There is so much stigma, and I don't want people to judge me or to get into my personal life. The 34-year-old says, explaining why he doesn't want to be identified for this article. Unlike in Europe and the US, where it is a commonplace procedure, male sterilization provokes fear in many African countries. Now, for the people who might be watching this show and some people might not know what vasectomy is, a vasectomy is a male sterilization. It's a surgical procedure that cuts or seals the tubes that carries a man's sperm to permanently prevent pregnancy. Vasectomy is also reversible. It's also important to know this as well. The operation is usually carried out under local aesthetic where the patient is awake but does not feel any pain and takes around 15 minutes.
Men!
You really have this easy in life.
Men have everything easy.
You have things really easy.
15 minutes easy for them. 15 minutes.
Just that. 15 minutes.
As opposed to a woman to go and do that tube time.
It is more than 99% effective at preventing pregnancy. If vasectomy does not affect a man's sex drive,
please highlight it. I like
if vasectomy does not affect a man's drive in the other room or his ability to enjoy the other room, he will
his ability to come and stand.
He will still, please have mercy. He will still have erections and ejaculations, but his semen will not contain any sperm. In the voice of Mommy Gio, sperm.
Yeah.
It does not protect any STIs, for which condoms remain one of the best contraceptives, which is 98% effective when correctly used. So we'll not go into this whole details of the amount of percentage that's happening in African men for South Africa and whatever. All those things are too much.
Yeah.
But Michael says that he did not let culture get in the way of easing the suffering his wife endured from contraceptive
injections. So women go through a lot.
Coincidence with this woman that sent us her story. Michael and his wife also have 3 children. Madam, send this article to your husband.
Yeah.
And they already had 3 children, he says, and they don't want any more. She was experiencing serious side effects like pain when lifting things, he adds. Her skin was dry and rough, and she was losing weight very fast. His wife says she can now live without the worry of having children she did not plan for. But she worries that her community will one day find out, which is why she wants it to remain a secret. She was also surprised that her husband went through with it. I couldn't believe he would do it for me because no African man can do that, she tells BBC. Where we come from, people say men must have many children as possible. Calling upon brave men. One of the biggest reasons Africans do not embrace vasectomy, according to the experts, is that many men are still ignorant and misinformed. Hey, that's why you have common sense sisters to enlighten you today. We're here to break the ignorance. Some people equate it with castration, but because they think that all genitals are cut off and you may remain like a woman, says Dr. Charles Ocheha, a vasectomist at Family Health Operations in Kenya, a sexual health NGO. A campaign for free mass vasectomies in Kenya this year saw a number of men come forward. FHOK brought over a team of volunteer vasectomies from the US. Family planning is traditionally left to the women in Kenya. But during the 4-day awareness drive, the NGO called on 100 brave men to shoulder the responsibilities themselves by having a vasectomy. About 70 men turned up, with the majority not wanting their identities to be revealed. Understandable. And this should concern Africans since the continent's population is set to double by 2050. The concentration of population growth in the poorest countries present and its own set of challenges, says John Wilmot, Doctor of Population Division in UN Department of Economics in Africa. It makes it more difficult to eradicate poverty and inequality, to combat hunger and malnutrition, and to expand educational enrollment in the healthcare system.
Yeah.
There are some things about, and Michael was saying that his parents could not afford to provide 3 meals a day for him and his 3 siblings. He describes dinner time as a fight for survival when his entire family would scramble to eat as much food as they can offer as possible. I come from a very big family and saw the struggles that my parents went through raising us, he adds. I don't want to go that path. I just wanted to have a family I could easily manage. The father of 3 says that his vasectomy procedure took less than 20 minutes and the pain was minimal. In fact, he went back to work at his office the same day. Michael says men should be fully informed before taking such a step. Some people think that you're not a real man by getting a vasectomy. These are some of the myths that we're talking about today. Dr. Ocheha says that there are some disadvantages to male sterilization, but the pros outweigh the cons. A man may feel a little pain for a few hours after the procedure and is not allowed to lift heavy things for the following 2 days or so. Yet the operation has very few risks and complications, says the APHRC. It says vasectomy rarely lasts more than 30 minutes. Very few vasectomies fail, according to the APHRC, and very rare cases, the ducts spontaneously reconnect. Indeed, a few, as 1 in every 500 women, has an unintended pregnancy in the year following their partner's vasectomy. But survey shows that in recent years, many African men are not aware of vasectomies as an effective means
of family planning.
So you people should see the drawing.
This is the chart.
Malawi.
Nigerian men, pick your spots.
We bought a whole Nigerian men, the giants of Africa.
Malawi is ahead, though. Malawi, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya.
East Africa.
In terms of awareness for family planning, planning not be woman assignments alone. It's for both the men and the women.
And the article goes further to give more.
We'll put the link in the article.
We'll put the link in the article so that you all can go and there. We have more.
Let's see what the community is saying.
People are talking about this. All right.
Let's see what the community is saying.
What have we missed? The thing is saying,
yeah,
so that's easy. Let's say 45 minutes max. It includes the final discussions and ceremony. before performing. Wow, only 45 minutes.
That's
Wow.
that's really quick. Yeah.
Yes, Mariam. Yeah, Michael is very, very brave.
Yeah, he is. He is, and he's a thoughtful spouse. He's a thoughtful spouse who understands his role, that to make this, to continue this relationship and just let's stress it for my wife. And he also saw how the contraceptive was having some side effects on the wife. He could see his wife going every time she took that injection.
Her body will be
dry, losing weight,
feeling pain.
And the thing is that every woman reacts to the contraceptives differently. So why do you want somebody that you love to go through that torture? After bearing those children, to go through that same torture. Women, our body, is it meant for wahala? Are we born to be going through pain? You know? So I think this lady that wrote us, that was brave enough to write us this email, she should send her husband this video or something like that. Or also read that thing. Ignorance is not an excuse. I think when it's time to make progress, some people, even when they have opportunity to
make something change for the positive, they shy away from it and they just demonize the thing.
Exactly. Another thing is that Michael said he did not allow his culture take precedence over the happiness that it would have brought into his family. Michael is also coming from a big family where he saw poverty reign supreme. Poverty reigned supreme, which means that the parents could not afford. If the parents could not afford
the children that they had,
exactly.
And he didn't want that, so he planned to have the 3 children that he could afford.
Family planning,
you know.
Those are saying that is brave. However, Michael didn't do it for her. What do you mean? Were you not reading it? He did it for his family and even to himself.
Yeah, she's part of his family. There's no favor to. This is no favor to.
Oh, it is in his own opinion. It's a favor to his woman. We cannot take that out. It is a favor to his woman. I disagree with you because he said that sacrifice. It is and he used that language because we know as Africans, many African men carry ego on their heads. When it's time to step up as a man and sacrifice, do small thing, some of them don't do it. Come here, be talking about your nonsense ego and what the community will say. Is your penis? Is your Dixon the community Dixon?
Michael, he did not tell his community about it.
He went to work.
He knows
he's not married
the
to his
IQ
community.
of his community.
Yes.
So he did not share the information.
I
say, nope, I love Michael's courage. Yeah, Michael is very, very courageous. Yeah, very, very.
Hi, Toby. Welcome. Yes, culture did not. That's what we're talking about.
Did not feed Michael. The same way culture did not even feed
common sense. Common sense. Today is the day of the men. Yes. They have to step up and be taking courage. Ignorance is not an excuse. Those of you that are in a relationship, you are afraid to discuss this thing with your partner. Otoyos, you will just carry yourself and say, oh, I will just do it. You know our African men. Lie. Have the discussion. Do it 45 minutes. If you have already decided that these are the amount of children you want to have, make a sacrifice.
For people who don't even want children at all. Because a few months ago, we also did that story of this man here.
Yes.
This photographer guy that came on online on Twitter and tweeted that I did it. I just got my irreversible vasectomy done. He's 29 years old and unmarried. No children and does not have any intention of having any children. I've always wanted this for years. It's surreal. Thank you to everyone who advised and donated to whatever that is and for supporting him throughout. So there are some men too who don't want to have children, but they don't do anything about it. They leave that up to the women in the relationships or the women that they are sleeping with to make that choice. So when you are sleeping with, when the women are sleeping with the men, when they wind up pregnant or when they fall pregnant, and they come and tell the men say, "Oh, but you know I don't want kids. I never know that." But you that you don't want kids, what have you done about it? Because when women choose that they don't want to have children, they do something about it. So if you're a guy too, this one now going away from people that are in relationships, whatever. If you're a guy and you don't want children, what are you doing about it? You know, that's another thing I wanted to drag us back to. So from the story that we had shared a few months ago. All right, you all, we're going to be sharing. Oh, you can read
that. I said, vasectomy is not a favor men do to women. Michael insinuated that. That's my piece of disagreement. His courage is not negated in any way. It is to his wife. It's accountable to.
We're saying that it's because that is what he said. It was literally in quotes. That's what he said for his wife. So it's not like we're saying that. Oh, Michael, this one. There are some people who agree with you and whatever and whatnot, but we're just repeating what Michael
had to say. Yeah, that's what he said.
We get your point in where you're coming, where you're driving at.
And everybody's accountable to their. Well, it depends on your relationship. I would assume that somebody's accountable to their partner.
Yes.
Right? So because if a woman still does, it's the same thing, sacrifice. I would also say sacrifice
either for the partner or for herself or whatever. Like I was saying before, some women who don't want kids, whether in their relationship or not, they do something about it because they know they might still want to enjoy the pleasures of the world.
Exactly. Exactly.
Pleasures of the world. So they actually do something about it. So in a Gosa situation, you can what the Gosa is saying might be, it's not a favor to whatever, but anyways.
Maybe in the general sense of things, but when we're looking at relationship is not for general. It's to accountability to each partner.
We put the link there for anybody who wants.
Dr. Timothy. I was about to call Dr. Timothy.
Dr. Timothy, they like this kind of thing.
She said,
please, let's add that. Dr. Timothy, greetings.
Hello, dearie. Hello.
How are you doing?
Hello. Yeah. How's your weekend going?
Sorry, Dr. Timothy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Hello to everybody in the channel. Egosa, Toby, Miriam, and every other person. Hope you're having a great weekend so far.
Try.
Yeah, so I'm jumping on this because first of all, it's like my area. So I'll just be in the background, just trying to try to talk about this topic, and then maybe if people have questions, clarifications here and there.
Don't mind them. We never pay for the don't if you have any questions. No, we never pay for these services.
Of course, I might not be able to go so personal on each person because definitely, you're not going to be able to ask all the questions you need to. But we'll just kind of speak generally. You see.
Yes.
So kudos to this gentleman who as an African, we know how we are with I think the problem is that with surgeries in general, we've got this unease with it naturally. And I don't want to blame just our men. I think it's all about everybody, even for us doctors, even having gone into theater several times, and then you see people having anesthesia and all that, you still have that little ick, when you hear anything that has to do with the procedure and all that. So I'm just playing devil's advocate for our men. And you should also understand that for them, we're coming from a culture where it's been like so patriarchal. Some people haven't even heard of it before. Like maybe they've just kind of heard, but they've never really known what it is about, or touching my body, because it sounds ridiculous. We're coming from a culture where if a woman cannot conceive, it's deemed to be her fault, and trying to go into this might be a bit far-reaching just yet. I'm just being practical here. So I understand if some of our men have not been able to come to that understanding to say, yes, I think this is the right thing to do. I could just go for a quick snip and just, for the family, for the good of the family as a whole. And so I don't want to go too hard on them because, I totally understand how it might be a bit difficult for them to take that decision, but rightfully so. That's why we have programs like this, where we can always enlighten everybody, educate people, and then we'll be able to have a chat about it. You wanted to say? Go ahead.
I have a question. So do you think that, apart from the fact that the whole normal excuse of patriarchy and all those things, I think we let African men get away with a lot of things. That's my opinion, number one. Number two, do you think that family planning discussion, when they are having it among couples, do you think that there's not enough information about the option of vasectomy, or men can play in family planning?
Very true. Now let me go back now. Sorry, I want to sit up so we can So the first thing, that initial thing I said, it's in my line of work, you always want to see the other person's side. You also want to acknowledge the concerns of the other person, though it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you guys will end up to. It's just like negotiation. Why I understand the reluctance of many African men in doing this, I also think that not enough education has been made. We've not even had, patient at all. Many people don't even really know about it. They just kind of hear it. They've not. There's not much information out there for them to access to say, oh, this is it. It should be. You should have jingles, on radio and all that. To let them know exactly what it is about. We don't have that. So I'm just putting the two questions in one. We don't. When we're talking about family planning in Nigeria, because I practiced in Nigeria for about 7 years before I moved. So I can tell you, and I trained in family medicine back in Nigeria. So so even in Nigeria, when we talk about contraception, we almost only focus on the women. In fact, as a rule, I think that it was until I got to the UK that I started seeing people coming up like men, and then we're talking about male sterilization. Do you understand? In Nigeria, it was almost like, usually when the women come around, maybe probably they say gravida 6, para 4, and all that. So gravida 6 means that's her 6th pregnancy. And then we kind of speak to them and say, madam, or maybe probably she's had some cesarean sections in between, but we just counsel her about the risk of the operation or the risk of multiple deliveries and all that. Most times we say, we want to tie your tubes. Do you understand? So I think we as Nigerian doctors, we are guilty of that. Do you understand? So sincerely, I will be factual with you guys. So we are guilty of that. Even in our training in med school, there was not much emphasis on male sterilization. They kind of just brushed it off. Maybe male sterilization is not as complex. In fact, it's just like 1/10 as complex as you have in females. So the females, female contraception is a whole lot. Like, in fact, the topics are quite very extensive, different types of contraception. Do you understand? But for the males, we used to love this kind of questions.
From what I see.
Exactly, condoms and So we used to love the questions in exam because that almost that's a win for you. But for the females, oh my gosh,
You have to remember
because they're gonna catch you in one question or the other. Do you understand? So So I'm thinking from the root cause. I think probably maybe because most of our teachers tend to are males, or where some of them are still there, were males. So it's all, we never really had that exposure to say, personally, I never saw in Nigeria, when I practiced in Nigeria, that had vasectomy. Not in Nigeria. In fact, let me just you girls. When I came here, like, I was surprised you would have men that would actually come to the clinic and say, "Yes, I want to have a vasectomy." Right? Like, it always kind of got me excited that, oh really, so I think we have to start by having these discussions like this program, and then more government has to do more. You have more patient education, you have to even public education, all that. They know all these things, but we know how things are in our country. But I think we'll just do our bit here and there. Let me allow you guys to talk. There are other things I want to say, but we'll just kind of balance the discussion as we go.
I hope you're not going to forget because you're the doctor here, so I don't want. We really
all
don't
right
want
okay, let me go ahead. So for our men in the house, like I said, I wasn't being cheeky. I wasn't being funny when I said I understand your reluctance and feeling like, oh, what could he be? Could he be this or that? I think the first thing is you're scared that, let me say, you see, there's something called the spermatic cord. It's just imagine like a muscular tube, so it connects the testis around something we call the epididymis down through the inguinal canal. You understand? Inguinal canal goes behind the scrotal sac and comes up. Now, that cord now contains that tube called vas deferens. That tube is the one that actually carries that, the spermatozoa, the sperm cells itself. And then you have the blood vessels and you got the nerves, right? I knew that there was this crazy person that when I was working in Nigeria, he wanted to repair hernia for a patient, and he actually cut through the spermatic cord. So I don't know if we start Nigeria story, So if you cut through if you cut through the whole cord, if you cut the blood vessels and the nerves, that means the testicles will die, right? So there's no supply to the balls, right? So because the testicles are the ones that produce, the testosterone, that hormone, So for men, it's your testicles. Once the blood vessels are, your nerves, your blood, everything, they are preserved. So you still have that male hormone. Nothing affects it. So I think that's one major problem and major fear for most African men. So they think that, oh, it's going to affect my, my manness, my, my masculinity or whatever.
Yeah.
No. Right. So these surgeons are very well trained. They know how to pick on the vast difference itself and not cutting through your blood vessels that carry whatever to your testicles. Right. So yeah, so I know that there are good surgeons now, urologists that do it in Nigeria, but if you're abroad, I don't think that can happen, because clearly, they would delineate it. You be sure that, oh yes, it's the vas. You be sure, oh, these are the blood vessels. There's a way you clamp them, a way you push them. You have to be sure this is the nerve. You identify the blood, first before you even now get the vas. So it's just a quick snip. Sometimes they kind of, you do a chip, then you kind of tie the ends, and then you put it back in its position. There's another type that they do. They don't really cut through the scalpel. It's just like they use like a tube, like, something to just puncture, after anesthetizing, just puncture through and then go just tight. Yeah. So for men, so that doesn't affect your anything that has to do with your masculinity. So your male hormones, your testosterone, your testes are still working, they're functioning, so they're producing the testosterone. The seminal fluid, that's the semen. Those ones are produced mainly by the seminal vesicles. Some also are produced by what we call the bulbourethral glands, and some by the prostate gland. So that means that you still produce your semen. So everything also it still looks normal. The only thing is that you don't have active motile sperm cells in your semen.
Yeah.
Are we getting it, right?
We are getting it. We are getting it.
Yes. So men, I don't want you to be scared. Because we'll talk about the possible complications. Because so that's part of giving full information. We're not coercing them, we're not coaxing them into doing anything, but you just have to give
we're looking for go and get a picture. So that's all
exactly. Exactly. So it's a very short procedure, but before we start, of course, when someone expresses interest, oh, this is what I want to do, I want a vasectomy, you talk about, okay, what do you know about it? Why do you want it? Then you talk about the home situation, about the spouse, or what has she tried any other forms of contraception? What has been her experience like? And then he would tell, oh, there was a patient that had a while back. So he said, I think they'd had already, 5 kids already, and the wife had tried, and the last kid was a failed contraception. She had tried like 3 different types, and they didn't really work well with her body. She was always having, either she was having bleeding, or she was I think for one, she said she was always having like abdominal discharge, like PID kind of symptoms. So he said, well, I just don't want my wife to go through all of that anymore. Do you understand? And then she was kind of also obese. She had high blood pressure. So he said she would also be high risk for probably procedure. Maybe hair tying her tubes and all that. So he said he would rather, because then if she was having PID and then you want to go and rummage through that pelvic area, it could make her symptoms worse and all that. So he said he would rather have a quick procedure that wouldn't cost so much, and then they'll get it over with.
So we see you have one question here. That's why it's asking. So it's not an invasive surgery?
It's what we call a minimally invasive, because anything you have to cut through the skin is invasive. Do you understand? So, but you have minimally invasive, because in fact, for the guys, I mean, it could sound a bit funny, if you hold your balls, if you kind of like just run your finger through the back, the ball through the back, you feel that cord, you feel something a bit thick.
There's a diagram here for you. There's a diagram here for you.
Oh, great.
We just stop laughing now. We went to research about this thing.
Anatomy class.
So we'll have a doctor for practicals. He's very, very. That Chanel has this. So I beg.
And also, I will come to you.
There's diagram.
So you can see that
some people like visuals.
Yeah, so you can see that tube, right? You can see that tube there.
Which
Yeah.
color?
Yeah, that blue one, that blue. Is it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no. Sorry, let me open up my blue one. That blue. Let me open up here just so I can see. Yeah, so that's the vast difference. Yeah, I'm also watching on my laptop. Yeah, so you can see it's the posterior part. Oh, sorry, posterior means back. Sorry, I'm using technical terms. Yeah, so the back. Yeah, if men, if they can feel, they can actually feel it. So the vast difference is in what we call the spermatic cord. So that tube comes in another. It's inside another tube, another muscular tube that now has the veins. They have the blood vessels and the nerve, right? So that was the one, and then it goes right up through that part that's close to the bone. So that's you can see that pelvic area, the inguinal canal. So that's the place that Mongopa cut for that one poor guy. Yeah. So what they do is they just do a quick snip, around the scrotal area, just a small cut. Then you do what you call local anesthetic ring. So you just kind of just infiltrate around. They are very good with that. So they're not going to get into your testicles because you actually feel
something that is cut to stop the sperm from flowing.
Yeah, it's just to stop that sperm cells from going through. Do you understand? So they will just snip that tube. That's all. Yeah. So that's what they do. And then the few complications that you could have. First of all, it could be, the first thing is the purpose for which you're doing the procedure might not be attained. So that means that you might still have enough motile cells, potent sperm cells that will still pass through. So they usually advise that you use other means of contraception within a period of time. Some people say it takes up to 12 weeks before you have full non-motile cells in the semen, meaning that you don't have live sperm cells in the semen. It could take up to. Yeah, so initially what you do, you use other forms of contraception because you might still have a high failure rate, because you still have some good sperm cells that will still be in the semen, even while that one we don't pass already into the seminal vesicles. Yeah. You see?
Okay, women in the chat, why you laughing?
No, Nigeria.
Share this video.
They laugh. What is tutoring?
This is very your biological. That's why we're gonna rush. Go call our teacher.
Share anything about sex education. Africans go they tutoring their otoyos.
Dr. Tibiti is busy because she was laughing when we were laughing. That's why we're laughing. We are guilty.
I'm not guilty. How dare I be guilty? Jay said she loves this session. You see? Ona.
Jay.
How many of you were still live medical doctor?
From the UK.
All the way from the UK, who is transferring to Canada soon? Just as you know they come to who is training us. But we don't know whether we'll go better.
Gosa, you are highly welcome.
The chief male on the screen, please unmute yourself.
Not really male anatomy class.
This is worldwide, all genders. No, we have many genders.
All gender and gender.
All gender observed.
All right, boys, guys. Before I let me just say some of the possible. Yeah, let me just quickly say some of the possible complications that they could experience.
Okay.
No, we always are always very keen to tell you the other side, so it doesn't seem as though you just say everything that's good. Yeah, so but I'll just say that, and then we'll kind of sit back.
Take your background, please, so that it doesn't, because we're echoing. So, Dr. Timothy, after you finish telling us about the...
then we'll go. Yeah, let me just quickly chip this in. Yeah. So, yes, so we can
get a balance. Dr. Timothy, I hardly say this.
Goodness. But Dr. Timothy, always here. Always to the rescue.
I just want to say...
give us medical...
You're welcome.
Please, I just want to say that we love you very much and we appreciate you. This is why we love people that are highly intelligent and not just only intelligent, they are willing to share.
They turn us on.
You are one in a
They stimulate our minds.
You're welcome, my lovelies. I also draw from you guys, if you don't know. Iron sharpened iron, you see.
Yes.
Yeah. So the things quickly, I'll just mention. For any procedure that's invasive, anything that you have to cut through, there's always that risk of bleeding. You see, even when it's not a highly vascularized organ or surface or tissue or anything at all, there's still that tiny risk. The scrotal, that it's not, it doesn't really bleed that much, especially you're not gonna nip into the testicular vessels in any way. So it's just that that's subcutaneous. So they don't bleed. They rarely bleed. But yeah, never say never in medicine. That's what we say. Never say never. Because we deal with percentages and all that. So there could be persistent bleeding, and there could be like when you bleed into a space and it now kind of solidifies. Becomes like becomes a bit hard. Yeah, clotted, exactly. So that's what we call a hematoma. So if you notice that something is building up there and it's getting bigger, you have to call your doctor immediately because they have to drain it, right? So you don't want anything that can put pressure on your testicles, because then it can affect the blood. It could be compressing the blood vessels, and then could cut off blood supply. So that's one. And you can have anything cutting through, you have some measure of pain. So for pain, usually ideally they advise men not to do too much activity within the first 48 hours, and so to avoid heavy lifting for about 1 week. So that's the routine advice we give here. The other thing is, for anything that's invasive, there's still that tiny risk of infection. So, but of course, the surgeon will take all the precaution, but we also still say never in medicine, and then it can still happen. That's still a risk. So if you notice that the pain is unbearable, it's not abating, it's getting very red, it's getting very swollen, hot, feels hot, or anything like that, you speak to your doctor immediately. All right. So the those are the major things. So usually they just give paracetamol and ibuprofen will be fine for them. And for sexual activity, we they advise that they should abstain, but within 1 week of the procedure. So about 1 week of the procedure, and because it kind of, you cut just over the scrotum, you have, because it dangles, so because of that pressure, some men complain of pain when they are walking. So you advise them to wear like supportive undergarments, like supportive pants or something to help
loose works as loose. Let loose.
No, it won't be loose for the first. No, it won't be so loose for the first few days because you need a good support. Just to hold it so that it doesn't just.
Support.
Yeah, it has to support.
Listen to us. We're not doctors. So listen to doctors.
So you need some support. Even at night or anything. Just first 2 days. Not too tight, but
men also wear pints. So baby, pints. So what are they supposed to wear, Dr. Timothy?
Now they could wear some. There was this man that I saw. I just say wear athletic pants. Not too tight, but something that can just give you good support. So that's good enough for a few days, like something 2 to 3 days. You should, and then just take painkillers. If things get worse, you can always ring us back, or we give you advice. We think it's very severe, you can go to the emergency department for and seek medical help. So that's how we safety net with them. So I'm not going to talk about the other stuff because that's just like medical stuff, but those are the main things there for our men to understand, and that's why I took our time to explain the anatomy and the how the the testosterone and all these things work, because I understand for men they're always very, very scared about losing their stuff, so which I totally understand. If I were a man, I would feel the same way, but I'm just assuring them that this is very short, it's very safe. Well, in the UK, I've not heard anyone cutting anybody's stuff off. Now, another thing I wanted to say quickly, there's also reversal.
Yes. So now we're even going to come to you for that. I wanted Egosa to say something.
All right. I guess so. Okay. Egosa, could you go ahead? Yeah, we'll come back to that.
And then we'll come back to other questions.
Perfect.
That's as they get class.
Hello.
African Egosa, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing, sisters?
This topic they totally everybody.
I saw that the Dutch class now. Last week on our class, because they keep us the students.
We apologize in advance. apologize for last week and in advance.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Wow, quite a good topic and very relevant. Very relevant topic of our times, right? Especially in 2022, regarding the Roe versus Wade ruling. I know that it really sparked this conversation. Yeah, and I'm happy that Temiti has already talked much about the safety. I really enjoy the safety part of the procedure, which highlights that, because sometimes a lot of men also fear the procedure. It is not kind of a major surgery. It's an out of patient surgery, just like Timothy explained it. Yeah. So, and also she touched on the gendered aspect of contraception.
Yeah.
And that's my area as well. That's my area as well. So I really want to touch on that quite briefly. Every I want to say that every aspect of society, unfortunately, is gendered against women. Yeah, every aspect of society is gendered against women. And right inside the doctor's office, women are being discriminated against. And in this aspect is contraception. You understand? Women are being discriminated against even right in the doctor's office. And a lot of doctors, and I can even safely say 100% of doctors, unconsciously discriminate against women in their offices. For example, if a woman is undergoing an emergency, let's say after an unsafe delivery, right? Let's say it's her 7th or 8th child, then after cesarean session, the next day the doctor will say that, oh, we are going to take off your womb because it's not safe for you to give up to give it to another child again. You understand?
That's true.
Yeah, they will never focus on the man. Say, oh, okay, can we have a vasectomy because it is not safe if it's not safe for this woman. If you try to impregnate it, if you impregnate her again, it's not going to be safe. You understand? So they always focus on the women. You see, even if the woman comes, or the man and the woman comes into the doctor's office and they say, okay, family planning, the doctor will immediately shift and focus on the women. You need pills and you need injections. Okay, can we tie your fallopian tubes? All those options. Nobody focus on the men. So generally, society as a whole has given women this burden, of course, it is a burden.
Yeah.
They are focused on they focus on women so much so that all the burden of contraception falls on them. You understand? Okay, if we go back, if she doesn't fall pregnant, it's her fault. If she gives birth, if she gets pregnant, unintentionally, it's her fault. Because it's her body, so she's supposed to be in total control of her body. So nobody focuses on the men. So going back to the doctors, Timothy, with respect, I'm not talking. Yeah, it's been general. Yeah. So going back to doctors, unfortunately, they take what they are being socialized with from a young age at home. You understand? They take they subconsciously take the training from childhood, where all the responsibility of contraception is being blamed on women. They take that right through school, right into the doctor's office, where even the general medical training do not focus on men's contraception widely. It focuses those training focuses on women. So exactly. So I just want to say that doctors really need to do more and ask the couple, okay, you need contraception, who is going to go for it? You understand? The option, are you the man, are you going to take the responsibility to avoid pregnancy, or you the woman, are you going to take responsibility to avoid pregnancy? So those two choices should be placed, rather than all the focus being placed on
the woman. So putting all options on the table.
All the options. The options are supposed to be there, when doctors are supposed to give the men the responsibility as well. But unfortunately, from the way we socialize in society, they take that even right into their offices, where they just focus on the women, they ignore the men. And I'm glad that Timothy agreed to that. You understand? Yeah. Then again, going to the lastly, I don't want to talk too much. Then going to the Roe versus Wade issue, where okay, like look at now where the request for vasectomy has increased.
Yes.
900% because
yes.
Yeah, 900% because like you said, I haven't really read that article, but it has increased 900% from the article that you read. Okay.
Yes.
Simply because even the can I use the word, the A word?
Well, I don't know.
Okay. The abortion. Okay, so even if
abortion. Oh yeah.
okay, can I use it? Okay.
I guess so.
think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Free, please.
Okay. So even for me, abortion right is supposed to be women's right. Abortion right is supposed to be women's right. Why? Because she is not supposed to be forced to keep a pregnancy that she doesn't want because she didn't create it on her own. That's one of the reasons. She didn't create it on her own. Somebody else is somewhere is supposed to be responsible for the pregnancy as well. You know, but one of the aspects of this reversal of Roe versus Wade is that they make women to take full responsibility of the unwanted pregnancy and try to punish them. Okay, now you have to keep the pregnancy because of so and so. I don't want to go into into all those details, you understand? So for me, it is kind of like taking away women's reproductive right. Yeah, it takes away women's reproductive right. Without a doubt, I am for it. I am for safe abortion. I don't hide it. I am for safe abortion. I will not advise a woman to do it, but if they want to do it, they have my support. That's why I stand, because they have total right over their bodies, and no doctor, and for me, no doctor and government should have a say on a woman's body. No doctor or government should have a say on. If I choose to cut my hand today, it's my decision. It's my hand, the MY, it's my hand. So if what is inside of me, if I decide to get rid of it, it's my decision. You understand? So so that's it. So they kind of like do as if it is only women's responsibility for getting pregnant. But somebody else got them pregnant. And if you look at the whole of this Roe v. Wade thing, it is so gendered. It's so gender biased because men are not even mentioned. Men are not even mentioned. The whole thing is so gendered biased. So anyway, I don't want to go away from the conversation, but I just want to chip that in.
Thank you for putting that in, Negusa. It was also very important, and that was the reason why we also had that as part of our thumbnail, because it's all in one way or the other. It's all interconnected.
So to conclude on this first one, is just that doctors should do better because they are subconsciously biased against women. Thank you.
That's true. And to add on to what Egosa was saying, and we had plans on talking about that as well. And it's talking about hysterectomy, which is the surgical procedure that removes the uterus. I'll be sharing our screen to show you all more about it, because we found a tweet about that back in May. We spoke about it. And just to define what a hysterectomy is, hysterectomy is, for people who don't know, it's a surgical procedure that removes the uterus, so like tying of tubes. When you lose the ability to become pregnant and you can no longer menstruate. Reasons for this surgery include abnormal bleeding, urine prolapse, fibroids, and cancer. Recovery usually takes 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the type of surgery that you have. So this lady, Elle Jones, on Twitter back in May, was saying that her hysterectomy was $20,000, and she had to have her husband's permission before she could do it. Now, Rev Pap underneath her had said that he just found out that a vasectomy will cost him only $25 with his insurance, and he was fascinated by it. So Elle was responding to that. You can see the costs, even in the discrimination, the discrimination in costs of these procedures. Apart from the fact that it's very, very invasive, it takes longer time to heal, it's also very, very expensive. And Earl Jones is in America. And O'Shea Butter responded and said, the husband consent part is what always blows my mind. they don't need our consent for a vasectomy, and it blows my balls, to be honest. And Earl came and replied and said, exactly, they wouldn't give my sister one because she wasn't married or had any kids. So when we're talking about this reproductive rights or whatever, contraception, it goes really, really deep. And sometimes you don't know how deep it goes until you know somebody that wants to go for the procedure, or you yourself want to go for the procedure, and you find out that there are so many hiccups around this whole situation and discrimination and all of that. So just putting it forward that apart from the medical risk that is there for women, or the stigma, or the whole issues that come for women after they've taken different types of contraceptives. When it comes to cost too, vasectomy is way cheaper, at least for the person in the US who tweeted this back in May. Is way, you cannot compare $25 with insurance to $20,000. I mean, there's really nothing that you can say that you not prove that there's some of discrimination in there. And just this was just to add on to what Egosa was had said in the past. So we had put the link there for anybody else who wants to come in. And before we start, we just asked I think Amaka had a question for Dr. Timothy, and she said, what is the time frame for complete healing for the vasectomy?
All right, so I just wanted to check that because I thought someone said 12 weeks. So that wasn't what I meant. For the healing, usually for most men, within 1 week, they're fully healed. However, there's still that little percentage of men that could, have this further complications, probably poor wound healing, or maybe they've got some connective tissue disorders, or they've got immunology problems that wouldn't let them, heal quickly. Do you understand? Or maybe predisposed infections and other problems. But averagely, if all things being equal, within 1 week we expect them to heal. Some could have, but there's still that tiny risk of chronic pain. Some could have chronic pain for a much longer time. So so those are just a little fraction of men. So Egosa, thank you so much for your summation. I just wanted to pick up on a few things. I totally agree with you on the points where you said doctors are we kind of naturally get towards the woman when it comes to contraception. We rarely talk about the men, and I will tell you why that is. So it's not you said subconscious bias. It might be, yes, partly, but the other thing is that imagine even if a woman is probably got a husband, how are you sure that that's the only person she's having sexual intercourse with? Do you understand? So that's the thing. So even if you nip the husband, what about if someone else gets the sperm in there? Do you understand the angle we are thinking from? Especially when it has to do with probably the pregnancy will be a life-threatening risk to that woman. So if I've got a patient who's probably had 6 pregnant deliveries, she's probably had previous postpartum hemorrhage, where she bled a lot, or she's had multiple cesarean sections, that I know that this uterus can rupture, it can tear at any point in time. Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah. In Nigeria, there was a woman who had ruptured, like it tore. When I was entering, yes, in Kaduna, it ripped from the top to bottom. Yes. It's rigged like you know the uterus, so it's like the size of it being very small, but when in pregnancy it expands unimaginable size. So if you've had different cuts, though they had been sutured and they had healed, those points are at-risk points. It can so if you've got probably rigorous contractions or probably prolonged labor or anything, it can tear. So there was this woman, it actually tore from the conus, just up close to the fallopian tube area, tore like this through down. Can't remember that. In fact, that theater, I think we spent like 8 hours. Had to do a laparotomy. You had to open up the abdomen. We had to call the general surgeons, because then we're scared of probably puncturing the because you have the gut all over the place, so you have to pack the gut to then so and blood all over the place, so we had to be transfusing in theater while doing all that clamping. It can rupture. Do you understand? So at that point in time, you're thinking that so I understand what it looks as though we're focusing on the woman, especially when that subsequent pregnancies might put her at risk, because even she might not sleep with the husband, might sleep with someone else and still get pregnant. We've had things happen like that. For you guys, we've seen a whole, lots of sorts. Husband will be like, I've not been around. How come you're pregnant? All that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's why it seems as though we kind of primarily focus on the woman. But I hear you, right? I think we need to be more aware and to be more intentional as regards putting that extra information out to men and seeking to say, oh, just a little bit, oh, what about your partner? If you're a partner, you're in a stable relationship, are you in a marriage and all that? What are his thoughts? Has he thought about this? I could give you some information leaflets to go home to read about, and then So I love that. In fact, what Egos has said is going. I've internalized it, and I'm happy for this talk show tonight. So I'm sincerely, I have to be sincere. I also, when next I'm doing my baby checks with the moms, I think I'll put that in and say, oh, what about your spouse, and all that.
Your partner.
This is so amazing.
Yeah.
That's I just want to appreciate you, Dr. Timothy and Egosa, for coming up. This is what we always say, that when you have knowledge and experience or expertise in a certain area, the ability for you to share it with your community effortlessly, where you know that not everybody has access or even have the courage to ask doctors questions.
Sometimes because we don't know, so how will you know what to ask for?
Exactly. And seeing the fact that Dr. Timothy explained this thing, broke it down to laywoman's term, and we're able to understand, and Egosa coming from the community point of view, non-medical point of view, and talking about how
the realities of life that goes beyond the medical room, but what also affects whatever happens in the doctor's room. We cannot ignore those parts. And also because we also read so many articles about that, we're actually going to even narrate to everybody on the live show, but Dr. Timothy has explained it so much that we will only leave the links of the remaining, all the articles that we were supposed to use or the ones that we've shared. We'll leave them in the description box for people to go and read further, because there's no point overflogging what Dr. Timothy has already said. Everything he was saying, especially was in those research articles that we were reading.
Let me just quickly chime in. What Egosa said is part of medical, training is supposed to be part of medical service. Do you understand? It's just that in Nigeria, it wasn't the same. But I did what he said is part of it, and that's what you call holistic management. Do you understand? And that's what gives your patient that satisfaction, because you have to be able to bridge that gap and know that what are the other social problems, what are the other things that they could be thinking about, the mental health. It's not just about, I'm the doctor, or you take this. No. So I hear Egosa, and thank you for that comment. Let me just quickly correct the 12-week thingy. So the 12 weeks is actually meant for you to be sure that the sperm cells, the active sperm cells, are no more in that semen. Do you understand? Yeah, that's the 12 weeks.
So meaning that the period for men is about a week, but the 12
weeks for
to make sure that there's no more sperm left for the remaining.
Exactly.
Active sperm. Okay.
Exactly, sperm. So because then you do another seminal fluid analysis. Do you understand? So they call it post vasectomy seminal analysis. They call it PVSA. Yeah. So we'll do another test for them they'll drop their semen again, and then hopefully by that time we shouldn't find motile live sperm cells in there. Okay. So they might be, some will still have sperm cells, but they won't move, because if sperm cells don't move, then they're useless. Sorry to say, I'm not being insensitive, but that's essentially because they need that movement to travel, travel from the cervix, through the vagina to go higher up into the fallopian tube for fertilization. Okay.
Yeah. And just before I guess the background is echoing. Just before we go on, I think Amaka was also, when I read something about the hysterectomy for the woman in the US, Amaka was saying that she has consulted for a hysterectomy and her husband's name was not even mentioned.
Yeah, that's what she said. It depends on the states. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good
and
to
maybe
know.
The doctors too.
That's good to know, and that's what he's saying. I was going to type that as well. Okay.
Amaka is right. I saw that comment, and you see, common sense sisters. Sometimes when people comment on about medical stuff, I just look and laugh. Do you understand? There's no. It is your body. No doctor, except probably even in Nigeria, we're not doing that. You're not going to say, if you need to do it. It is your body. right? So nobody's going to say we can offer, you can advise. Do you understand? But it is still that woman's body. If I say I want to get this uterus out, do you understand? Now, because we've got NHS here in England, which is like public health service, there are some indications for hysterectomy, which if it actually life-saving, yes. But sometimes you just come and just say, oh, I just want to get it out. Why? Just because I feel like that. No, it's not. It's not a cosmetic. Exactly. Do you get? So when people see things, people don't hear the whole story. Consultation is a whole lot. You have to bring a whole lot of things. So I don't really listen to all that. Nobody, no dog. Even in Nigeria, they won't be like, oh, if your husband doesn't agree, no. Do you understand? It's still your body.
So there's more to the story.
Exactly. So usually when you guys see all that, no, there's more to it. Yeah, there's more to it.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
So
Very good to know.
Nazo is asking again. I think Nazo is saying, so after the 12 weeks, do they still check to see and ensure that all the active sperm cells are gone?
Yeah, my students, what do you think, common sense sisters?
I think
yes,
that's what you're talking about.
You talked about the post-vasectomy, is it healing or something about that?
Lead an seminar analysis.
Yes, seminar. We were attending class.
Good students.
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So another thing I want to get into the relationship aspect of things now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We'll put a link for anybody who cares.
Anybody who cares to come and ask
please
questions.
share this video. Share good and enlightening things. Spread it on WhatsApp. The link.
And ask questions.
Yes.
Ask questions. What's Nazo is saying something about? I meant that I was going to type that the doctors focus on the women and not the men because they consider the fact that some women might have multiple sexual partners. Interesting. I never knew that. So, another question I just is now general. So, why is it? I want to ask you guys on the panel and everybody, why is it that it's a difficult conversation, or is a conversation that people in relationship avoid having?
Just conversations like this. I think Egosa should probably answer this one.
Why is it difficult for people to speak with their partners about it? Like, okay, we're going to have this amount of children, or for family planning, what are we going to do? These are the options out there. And sometimes, because I've had some people that have messaged me in the past, and they're like, their partner did not just want to hear anything about it. So they just have to go and they just have to go and just tie their tubes.
Egosa, do you want to go first?
Okay, I just want to ask, am I still echoing, please?
No, you're okay now.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a key word that we've always used in this channel, right? Socialization, right? Yeah, where first of all, women have bodily autonomy. Their body a woman's body belongs to them, and nobody outside a woman should have a say over their body. Not even their partners, not even their husbands should have a say over what they do with their body. However, they need to have an agreement with what they could do with each other's body, but not to have a say. And unfortunately, we have been socialized from a young age not to have that conversation. That mentality has been passed down from generations to generation. And I'm happy that in 2022, we are beginning to have this conversation. You see, we are beginning to put a word into a woman's mouth that, okay, I also have a say on this issue. Okay, now they do not have this conversation because they have made to believe that all the responsibility lies on them. You see, in every aspect of society, the church, the culture, wherever a woman goes to, they are always being told, even on sex education at home. You understand? Even on sex education at home, the way a mother, even though she's trying her best to educate her daughter, then she will tell her the sole responsibility for you not to get pregnant lies on you. You see, lies on you, forgetting that forgetting that okay, let me use this church word. They say the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak, right?
Very annoying, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, something like that. Where okay, you may be on your unsafe period, so your partner should know that okay, you are unsafe, and he will say, "Oh, okay, my love, let's not do this now because you are unsafe." So he too should know that this period we are unsafe. The woman shouldn't say that I am unsafe. The word should be we are not safe. It is not I am not safe, because you are a couple. You're not she's not alone. You are a couple, right? So the two of you, because if she gets pregnant, the pregnancy is for the both of you. It's not just for herself. You understand? So that comes, yeah. So it is due to socialization, where we say, oh, during your unsafe period, do not have sex. During your unsafe period, do not go to his room. During your
It's always
unsafe
for the
period.
woman to just always be prevented. Like you.
Yeah, it's you. It's you. So the man is taken away completely from the equation, and this issue, it goes right through the society, right into the doctor's offices, because even these parents also, some of them are medical doctors. You understand? Exactly, exactly. Some of them are medical doctors, so they take this notion even right from the sitting room, right into the doctor's office. You see, and even some doctors also, which is appalling. Temiti can even attest to this. I guess even some doctors who tell the woman. Some doctors quote scriptures to their patients. It's true, right? Yeah. Some doctors quote scriptures to their patient.
It depends
Okay.
on the country, though.
Yeah,
It depends on the country. Okay,
Very
let's focus on
weird.
Nigeria, right? Let's focus on
Very
Nigeria, Cameroon, and
weird.
all those things.
Because
You dare not do that in a civilized society. Yeah. Yeah. So some doctors will even quote scriptures. Some doctors will even pray for their patient before they do them some procedure, which is appalling. You dare not do that. Some doctors will even tell their patient, my culture doesn't permit you to do this. Culture, it's not your duty. So
apart from
now
the
you're going to the
apart from
doctor part. I'm
relationship, so
coming
like
from
for
the
the
relationship between a man.
yeah, from the the
Forget
relationship. What
about
I'm
the
trying.
doctor's
Mhm.
office now. Forget
Yeah,
about the doctor's office, because
yeah.
let's
Okay,
let's be
okay.
realistic. Forget about
Because
the doctor's office. You know why? Because
okay,
I think you've
yeah,
addressed that, and Dr. Timothy has also
okay,
addressed that, right?
okay, yeah,
And
yeah,
those
okay,
things
okay,
from
okay.
individual and man and woman having a conversation. I've
Yeah,
had a couple
yeah,
of people in the
okay,
past,
yeah.
a couple of
Yeah,
people in the
because
past that they said
because
that
I brought in because
I'm
I brought
coming.
in the doctors. I brought in doctors as well. Okay, I will not mention that because I brought in doctors because all of them, most of them as well, are parents.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not talking
that's why
about parents
and
I
now.
will I will
Egosa,
not speak to
I think Egosa,
that.
I think you have to just listen, just for a second, just hear me out, please. So I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah, okay.
about, I'm going into relationship because that's the realistic
Yes,
part of things. Forget about the doctor's
absolutely.
office or if
Yeah.
couples are
Yeah.
doctors or not doctors, because
but
Yeah.
it's not like an average couple.
In reality,
they could be people in college, university.
in reality, people don't bring their
Mhm.
profession into relationship talks most
Yes.
times.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
now these are two people,
Yeah.
husband and wife, or like partner, people in long-term
Boyfriend and
relationship, boyfriend,
girlfriend.
Yeah.
and they're having this conversation, and the lady is
Yeah.
like, my dear, I mean, we've had the kids we want to have.
Yes.
My body
Yeah.
cannot handle anymore, and
Yes.
I think it's right we go and
Have this
you
consultation.
have this we have this consultation with the doctor and understanding the role, family planning, where we can play a role in both areas, right?
Yes.
And maybe
Yeah.
the man is like, oh, what do you mean? Are you not telling me that this is oh, you know what to do now? You're a woman. I mean, you are the
Yeah.
one carrying it.
Even beating on what you've said, Amaka has said, it's funny,
Mhm.
that's 100% Nigerian men. I've heard multiple Nigerian men say that they would never get a vasectomy. So like why is it so difficult?
So it makes the woman. So I've had a couple of people that they like, they just go and they don't want to argue too much because maybe after the first two conversations, their partner is not coming through, and they don't want to argue too much. So it's like,
have kids too.
and other they don't want to also have more kids too, and they just go and painfully tie their tubes, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I'm saying that why is it so difficult, especially for, and I want to now narrate now to the Nigerian men, why is it difficult for some of them to sit down and have this conversation with their partner, the woman that they love, the woman that they've seen go through all these things, and they know she's scared to death to want to go tie her tubes or do any other thing or take all those contraceptives.
Yeah, okay. For me, right, this conversation doesn't take place because it's a no-go area, because the woman and the man also has been conditioned that a man's masculinity, that a huge percentage of a man's masculinity lies on his reproductive ability. Right, yeah. A huge percentage, I want to repeat, a huge percentage of a man's masculinity lies on his reproductive ability. That's why, for example, if a couple is unable to bear children, the focus immediately lies on the woman, that, okay, it may be the woman's fault. You understand? They may run to the hospital. They may run to the hospital. They may run to the hospital several times because checking up on the woman, and most of the time they'll take years before the focus now goes on the man. You see, because there's this natural sentiment which says that men can never be unproductive, and if a man becomes unproductive, it takes away a huge sense of his masculinity. So it's a no-brainer. They don't even want to talk about that because it's
like
not just
worth talking
about. Yeah. It's not. It is not just worth talking about. So the focus now lies on the woman. So the conversation now is always like, okay, we do not want to have more children. So the woman now, you take responsibility. So that's why I'm happy in 2022, where a focus should be on vasectomy, where vasectomy should be normalized, because it's easy to do, very easy to do, non-invasive. It takes away nothing from a man's body. Meanwhile, contraceptive,
and it's reversible.
a lot.
Vasectomy.
Yeah, it is reversible. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So simple and short is that the conversation is not being condoned, because it has a lot to do with a man's masculinity.
Okay. Thank you so much. Even before I go, Festus said something that was very, very, like, I want to actually read it. And he's saying, thanks to everyone for supporting Yo-Yo and Ella. I'm really re-echoing that to everybody on here live, and those that will watch the video and in the future. They bring value to our community, discussing eclectic topics that offer the Black communities. Thank you to that affect Black communities. Thank you to our common sense sweethearts. We are proud. Thank you. So anytime. Thank you so much, Festus. And we hope that you feel better,
because Festus is not feeling well. So I hope that you'll feel better, and like try to check if you need some rest and all that. Sometimes we overwork ourselves and forget to rest. Maybe go for checkup or something like that. Yeah. Welcome. Yeah, I go to say you're right, and thank God for modern medicine. Yeah, thank you so much for your let me talk like Twitter people, for your submission on this in this space. I like Twitter. Toby, greetings.
Hello.
How are you?
My people.
Be nice.
Good. Hey, what's up? Why we need to see on our face today?
We're a bit under the weather.
Yes.
What? No way.
We are. I don't know if anybody has been hearing. I've been like, you've been sneezing
and so both of you are under the weather, or just one person?
Both of us. It's been going on for a while, but we don't want to just bring them up here. I mean, we got to.
Oh my goodness.
I say we've been dodging classes, but because you asked,
I realized you guys are a little somber, a little just kind of on the DL. I'm like, what's going on with my common sense sisters today? What's happened?
It takes a night to recognize what's going on.
I knew something was up. I say, I must call to find out.
Yeah.
And Mark Zuckerberg, they ate our Instagram accounts too. So
I know. I heard that. I was, part of the listener at the beginning of the show, and I heard you guys saying that. I'm like, wait happened? Kilo day?
No, just no. I think
these last 2 weeks of June, I don't know who they come. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, man. But
yeah.
We're here.
Anyways, listen, make I show my face, make I tell you say.
Wow.
Yeah. I just want to tell you guys are amazing. But when you need to rest, you need to rest, you know. So we love you. Like I think Festus was saying in the comment, we really do love you guys. I'm gonna echo his sentiment. So we appreciate all that you do. I cannot do what you guys do if I live 10 lifetimes.
But it's easy.
We are here now.
But you're here. You're part of us.
You're part of us.
I know. Some of us we've been created to just support from the back.
The support is part of the common sense. We are all part of the common sense.
Yeah, it's man, you guys are amazing. You know, so thank you for all that you do. That said, I greet everybody else on the panel. Temi T, I don't know about doing your anatomy class. Oh.
Yes, our doctor.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And Egosa, my brother, I greet you as well.
I mean,
these withdrawal methods, we're coming to you. We're coming to don't
think
that we're forgotten. We have a special guest.
We have a special guest we're bringing for withdrawal methods. For pricum.
Sorry.
Okay. Withdrawal. I beg. I'm a child though. Should I just stay out of this discussion?
No. Sorry. Carry on.
I don't know anything about withdrawal. I don't want to withdraw anything. I don't want to withdraw anything from anything.
The only withdrawals to know occur in the bank.
It's money from the ATM. That's the only withdrawal I do.
Nothing was going inside. In order for it to be withdrawn.
Yeah, exactly. You deposit, you withdraw. That's the only thing I know. Anyways, listen, guys, great topic. You know, especially in the light of Roe v. Wade, which has gone worldwide. Yeah. I think that the Supreme Court has gone bonkers. Yeah. But it's a reflection of the times we're living in, you know, the politics and all of that. Thankfully, I live in a state that is very liberal. I live in California, you guys know. Yeah. And so obviously what that decision means is that it's going to go back to the states. Yes. And so people now can just basically shop around for whenever they need an abortion. But otherwise, you know, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Vasectomy, we've discussed it in the past, so you guys already know.
No, we did not know. You know, say that time in the past, Toby, somebody slided it in. I think it was Lara on the Beats from the UK that slided that thing in. And I think some people on the panel, they were talking about, this thing. Junior
say he has done some biology class. We did not know much about it, so we could not argue. So we used the last 2 months to go and fire up.
And then someone had emailed us after that this thing, but we had not done the live video. So the person that emailed us, which had read the email from the lady earlier in this video. So, and usually when we have not done research, we don't just argue blindly. So we're like,
I mean, if you're going into a fight, you have to go in.
Yeah,
I know. Very true. Very true.
And Dr. Timothy came today, so she came to shield us. So we didn't have to go and read all the articles, and we didn't have to regurgitate everything to you. Because Dr. Timothy was like live here, and she explained every single thing.
Yes, and I heard everything. Yes, yes. So again, I think ignorance is a major factor when it comes to our community. And we all know where all of that came from. It came from the past where I think Egosa said it. I heard him, you know, before I came on. You know, the responsibility for reproduction, or you know, it's put on the woman. Yeah. You know, some people even take some men some time to go check if they are the problem, because they never believe that they could possibly be the problem. Yeah. So a lot of times that's why you see a woman that is so loved and adored when she starts out, our wife, we love you, welcome, our wife. And then and then when she can't have a child, Jesus, the 180-degree turn that they make.
Oh my God, Toby.
You will be like, do you guys know me before in your past lives? I see. Like, what am I? All because she can't have a child. You know, so you can understand the cultural underpinnings of all of that kind of mindset. And then the men themselves, educated, enlightened, been to school, traveled the world. Nonetheless, they want to somehow stick to this old, archaic way of thinking. And so they won't even do research. They won't come on a live show like this where you have experts that are giving us this valuable information to glean from this information. They won't do that. They just want to get stuck in their old way. And secondly, I would say there's lack of empathy, right? You know, I mean, we've always talked about that. Even as I say that word, yo, I hear your voice in my head because you have always emphasized that.
I think I used to get it from you, though, Toby. I think
well, I guess it's we're just learning from our challenging and inspiring ourselves because that is a recurring theme in all of the social issues that we talk about, right? So if you are empathetic, if you care about the person you claim you love, come on, you want to explore at least this topic. You want to learn about it. You know, what can happen? How long does it take? You know, what are the side effects, if there are any? You learn. That's what you do. But you know, because you just want to be a man, because you have an extra leg dangling between your legs, that makes you boss. So you are forming a guy boss all over the place. But the woman you put at home, it doesn't matter. You don't care about her. So, like you claim you do, because if you did, you would do everything, especially within your own powers, to learn and to see what you can do to help with the situation. But yeah, that's my short take on the issue. It's a straight. I think it's a straight shot. Yeah.
Straight here. Toby's always shooting straight. Toby, they shoot straight.
Now only
they miss.
Yeah. I don't tell you, see now. The only withdraw I do now for 8 years. You should be careful.
Toby, to there.
I agree to doctor. Check wallet. Make it come down.
I get it.
Go on, man.
The night that always shoot straight, not a miss.
Yeah.
No blanks.
Hey, Ella, you. What is this shooting that you people shooting something? What are we shooting?
What are we shooting? We are strong women.
Please, we're nothing but pencils in the hand of the creator. It depends on the kind of pencil. HB pencil, the one they are producing in Nigeria. Yes. Toby.
Yeah. Yes.
I think it's the same question I had asked.
Okay.
When I think Dr. Timothy was like, Egosa should, answer first. Why do you think that for some Nigerian men, it's so difficult that their partners want to have this, or they begin these conversations with them?
African in general.
Mm-hmm.
Africans in general, because my friends, they are mixed with Africans in general, like African men, sometimes they have this conversation, they bring up the topic with their partner, and they're like, oh my dear, I'm thinking I can't continue with these contraceptives because of the side effects that it's having. So some implants and all this stuff, and the fact that can you consider, because I don't want to do the hysterectomy, they don't want to do it. Can you consider the whole? Let's learn about this whole, vasectomy, or like the role that you can play to help with this family planning. Stop considering that they are done having children.
Yeah.
That sometimes, for the most part, some African men just dismiss it like, I don't want to hear it. I don't. Please. Now you be woman now. Now you be woman.
Where is it though? Where I cannot produce children?
Mm-hmm.
And
my father did not do it. I will not do it.
And the women, they use different methods their partner use different methods to have this conversation with their men, and they just see themselves self-forced to do the invasive procedure and all that stuff. Why is it so difficult for some African men to have this conversation with a woman that they say they love?
Yeah, great question. I mean, I'm wondering myself, why? The same question, if we extrapolate that question, we can apply it to several other issues. Like, guy, why? Why can't you just have this conversation? But again, like I said before, what is at the core of that is the mindset that the guy is Oga boss. He wants to be forming Oga boss. He's saying that, look, anything that has to be done in that area, it is your responsibility. It is your job. And then I recall the last time we had this conversation. There was a gentleman who came on, and who was completely against vasectomy, and yeah, I remember. I've forgotten his name now, but I remember that conversation very well. And then he goes, all of you people that are advocating vasectomy, what if one day you are traveling and then in the air,
crash? Oh, I remember.
There's a plane crash, and all your children can't die.
I remember.
Oh my God.
For those of you who don't remember, this is why I should be watching the live show every Saturday. I cannot even remember the actual video, so it's not something I can say I will go and
Common sense sisters. And I recall responding to him that then I was like, guy, so if your children die, like your life is over. Like, can you see where this is coming from? All these aphorisms they tell them, if you come to this world, you don't have children, it's a wasted life.
Yeah.
If you what are you living for?
They report the person name for private chat,
but we will not repeat their name.
I don't. I mean, look, I respect the gentleman, but it's just to make a spy on the name.
Yeah.
Make a spy on the name. Okay, it's just a difference of opinion. But you can see that comment. You can see that it actually, you can see that it explains what we're talking about in the minds of people. Yeah. Because you're thinking, what if something happens one day and I lose all my children? What will happen? So I can't have any other children. No.
It's also reversible. There's a procedure for that.
Yeah. And which was what we were trying to talk about that day. And like,
even like all the people who enjoyed the live show that day, they are not coming into the studio.
I think we're all trying to talk about this thing that day, and I think they drowned myself and Ella. And those who said that, you people
I remember.
Don't understand, you're not men. We're like, okay,
I remember. And I what's that guy named? The guy that I think he was the guy with the Oba of Benin.
You don't go call the name, now you know.
Anyways, I remember him saying that we should be careful.
We also call the name, it's on your lips.
Yeah, we should be careful to adopt Western cultures and all of these. We're Africans. We need more children.
I swear it was an interesting conversation. I swear that day I laughed. They cracked me up because, and I was so proud of them because, I was so proud of them. You know why? Because they were saying the things that were in people's mind that we were really talking about.
Yes.
And which is why this live show is here. Like the most difficult things to talk about, which is like why we need to raise our military.
Absolutely. And so to your question, Yo-Yo, honestly, it's an ongoing thing. But I'm glad that I think times are changing. And I think that if you go from, say, millennials to Gen Zs and up, I think that it's going to get better. I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful that it's going to get better. And then we're going to begin to see this paradigm shifting going on, where people begin to see a lot of other issues, not just this issue, a lot of other issues differently. So celibacy.
Thank you. In the marriage.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I don't know about that part. It's true. Because women say they must celibate.
The woman said they celibate if the man doesn't want to agree.
Yes, I saw the headline that you guys had there. So I don't know if that's very feasible. To be honest with you, I don't know if it's a practical thing. I think she was just bluffing in a way but then not to dismiss what she's saying. Because she has a point on what she's saying. But it's like, look, guy, I've been trying to get your attention on this matter. I've been trying to get you to have a real conversation. I've been trying to get you to take responsibility, but you don't want to do nothing about it. So here's the ultimatum. No more kerewa. Is that the right word? Yeah.
No more wiping and swiping.
Exactly. No more chuku, no more. In fact, there's no chance of withdrawal. Don't even, because they're not going to make any deposits.
There's nothing.
There's nothing to withdraw. Nothing. There is nothing. Nothing. Zero. Shishi.
Not even from the ice pack.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe the idea was to wake the guy the fuck up. Maybe he can realize that. Wait, what? Nothing. But realistically speaking, I think that comment was a means to an end. And if the guy can understand where she was going, just do the needful, like we say. Do the right thing. It won't kill you. And then you can live happily ever after. That's all I gotta say to that.
Yeah, sisters, can I say a personal story, just one 30 seconds perhaps, right?
Okay, after your personal story, then Festus will go, and then Jay.
Yeah, yeah. Concerning this thing, that is what is happening with one of my favorite relative. It is ongoing as we speak right now, right? Okay, so he's been diagnosed with enlarged prostate, right? Okay, so he has three children already, and he doesn't want any more children. So when he told me that about 5 months ago, he told me all the symptoms. He's seen blood in the urine, difficulty in urinating, and all those things. So I advised him. I got shaken as well. Okay, and until now, I'm even doubting if it is actually an enlarged prostate or it is prostate cancer. So I just advised him. He's in an underdeveloped country. So I just advised him, why don't you just take it out? Take out the prostate. You don't need, you don't need any more children anymore. So just take it out and be safe from whether it's enlarged prostate really or it is prostate cancer. He is reluctant in doing it because of what we have already discussed about, and his masculinity is highly at play. With taking that decision. So he's busy Googling traditional means of curing it, because he doesn't want to get rid of his prostate. You understand?
Sorry, Akosa, I have to quickly, let me just chime in. Common Sense Sisters, could you remind me to respond to Akosa after the Festus and Jay talk? Because, you said a few things I just wanted to correct in there. Yeah?
Yeah. No, it's coming out of... See, Temiti, that decision, I advise him, not from the medical point of view, I advise him based on my fear.
Because if you say, if you say to take it out, because if you have blood in urine, if it's a painless hematuria, it's more likely, could it be a bladder cancer first? Do you understand?
Okay.
That's why. So you could have a prostate, you could have an enlarged prostate that's not a cancer. It's what we call benign prostatic hypertrophy. So when you want to advise people, you have to be careful, because if it's a cancer and you just go and remove it, depends on the stage. Otherwise, you could just disseminate and just distract the cancer cells. Do you understand? So that's why I just have to quickly chime in there.
Okay, because it's in a very shitty. There's no poor medical.
Seek medical advice. That's all.
Absolutely. So I just want to say it because his masculinity kind of playing at
you should seek medical advice, because thanks for sharing that.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Temiti. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Okay. Ooh, see the
cheers.
This cheers just sweet.
This CBT voice be like champagne.
Learn British accent because as long as they do this Canada for a long time,
we don't look. We are losing our touch.
Nothing. Cheers.
British people are too courteous.
They drink small tea.
Festus, this is the way you know where. What jiggy come from is taking you like. Now what for killing my dog?
Good morning from here.
Good morning.
Can we hear each other? Or can we hear one another? Sorry.
You want to go back and come back? You have to mute.
Sorry.
So muting.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but it's echoing. So if you're watching us on another device, you have to mute it so that we don't echo. So let's try it again.
Is it better?
You can just speak. We'll listen to you.
All right, if it's better, that's okay. I think sorry, I was a bit stressed. That's just it. But you guys' program is usually like very addictive. One cannot just go out like the humor, and above all, it's just value driven. That's the most important. So anyway, thanks for everyone who has been contributing. I didn't know that Temiti is a medical practitioner. Man, when she was speaking, it's just like I see my whole spirit was just refreshing. That's pretty good.
Thanks.
All right. I think the issue of vasectomy and celibacy, seriously, on the issue of Roe v. Wade, I know personally that I have some deeply conservative belief system when it comes to family. However, the concept of abortion, I didn't support it. Like I didn't support the what the Supreme Court ruled because I don't see reasons why five people should make decision for 330 million people. I call it democracy. That's very unfair. Because to me, the decision of what they call it now, the decision that has to do with abortion should be made between a woman, her spouse, or her partner if she's not married, and a physician. The government, the states, or third party shouldn't come in. Because what is best for us is not what you think from outside. I had this conversation with one of my friends back in Nigeria. We spoke for like 2 hours. He was trying to convince me, the life of a child is in the blood, other kind of things. I said, man, and I told him, Ross, you cannot come and give me decision, tell me how to run my own affairs. I told him, for instance, if I have 2 or 3 children with my wife, and we have agreed we want to have 2 or 3 kids, at the end of the day, another child enters, she gets pregnant, and we don't have the resource, or we didn't plan for that one. If we decide to take it out, that is on us, not on you. You say, oh, we're committing murder and all kind of things. Oh, you don't support abortion, but you support the death penalty. Is that not hypocrisy? That's a double standard. If a child is very important, like the right-wing conservative people are pushing for in America, they are very important. How come we don't have universal health care that covers every American? That's question number one. Question number two, how come the living children in America are suffering from childhood poverty? If you can look at the stats in America, it's staggering. There's high level of childhood poverty within the country. So you don't tell me the one in the woman's womb is so important, whereas the ones that are living, which have been born, are not even properly taken care of. Thirdly, on the issue of the Constitution, I feel in this present age, most of these constitutions that were written many decades ago need to be repaired or repeat rather. Sorry, pardon my English, they need to be repeated because the constitution need to be in line with modern day reality. For instance, the American Constitution was written by 12 men. There was no woman involved, number one. There was no diversity. And they were all written by white men. So are you telling me that, and they said, oh, every man in America, born in America rather, every man, there's where they frame that particular sentence, There was no, if you're saying every man, automatically a woman is excluded. And some will tell me, like the wordings of the Bible, it's not as you see it, you need to be, I don't need to be a lawyer to interpret some certain things. It's written in clear English. If it's somebody who is born, not the one who is in the womb. So for me, is if you say you support, you're a pro-lifer, your focus should be if you support pro-life, if you're a pro-life, then you shouldn't support the death penalty. Because if you do, you are practicing double standard. Secondly, treat the ones that are existing. How do you treat them? How do you treat children? Most of these children are suffering from what we call advanced childhood experiences in sociology. Most of these children are uncatered for. You see a lot of stepfathers, assaulting and sexually abusing their stepdaughters and the likes, vice versa. And you're now oh my God. So you're not coming to tell me a woman shouldn't do this. Like I was saying personally, in terms of education, our parents didn't do jack, especially when it comes to sex education. Most of our parents were silent, especially our fathers in the era of sex ed. I've never seen the fathers, back in the 90s, early 2000s, sit your son down and say, oh, you know, you're already 14, you're 15, you shouldn't have, if you have sex inside if you come inside of a woman, you're going to get her pregnant, things like that. Then our mothers that claim or allege to sex educate their daughters, what do they tell them? Oh, if a guy touches you, you get pregnant. If he just touch you like this. So most girls will be scared. Oh, don't touch me, I don't want to get pregnant. Then those ones that they will call the street ones when we're growing up, those ones that are a bit wild, they now attempted the sex and they saw that it was enjoyable. Maybe after the first time they felt pain. Then they will not tell you, the innocent girl, don't mind your mom. The thing is sweet, die. Then the girl will not attempt it. You see, this is maybe she attempted because she's a novice, she may end up getting pregnant. But if her mom had educated her properly, then she knows at this stage I shouldn't have sex and the life. And even if I want to, these are some of the things I need to put in place. For instance, the use of contraceptive and things like that, or tell the guy, please don't release inside of me. All kind of things. So those are like mechanisms. So, but sex education is very, very much missing. But this present generation, I think a lot of parents are beginning to do the right thing. So a celibacy, no, I don't really support that. You can't be celibate in a relationship, just like being married and being single. You cannot be married and you are withholding sex from your husband or from your wife. Oh man, that's really not fair. However, we should give consideration to both parties. There are some times that your woman will be exhausted, she needs some rest. So there should be some level of consideration. The same thing applies to the woman. There's sometimes your husband will come back, he has had a long day, So sometimes it's not every time we want it. You also need to look at the other part, the other person's consideration, look at the other person and consider their feelings and and see from their own perspective. However, total withdrawal from your spouse is totally wrong. But just do what works for you guys. That's why I dropped the curtain first for now. Any question, please?
All right. Thank you so much, Festus.
You have to meet him.
Yeah, he's made himself. Thank you so much, Festus. It looks like you've spoken a lot about and people extensively and in depth, and you went really, really deep. At the same time, you were able to connect everything back, and people were really feeling your thoughts in the comment section and all that. So we appreciate your contribution as the Twitter post, so your submission
to this space.
So this appreciate honorable panel. Thank you so much.
Festus even said any questions. So if you have any questions for Festus,
you can always
type
ask.
it in there. You can ask it. And while you're asking Festus any questions, we'll just have Jay speak.
Yeah, hello Jay.
Commonsensesisters, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank God. Since my internet has been so bad, like every time I've been calling over the past few weeks.
That's another thing.
It's all of us. We are currently on version.
You are not alone.
And we want to disversion ourselves to Rogers.
I'm using Rogers now, so I wish you all the best.
Oh my goodness. We just came from Bell like 6 months ago, so I'm tired of the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing is messy. But anyway, not to spend all the time talking about my internet woes. Let me first of all say that Festus, thank you so much for adding your. I feel like the way you approached the whole Roe v. Wade abortion thing was a very nuanced way of doing it. Holding fast to what and I think I heard you right when you said you have your conservative beliefs, but you actually do believe that the right to abortions is between a woman and her doctor and her significant other, and I'm just so I'm so grateful for that perspective. And honestly, all he said around when it comes to like the abortion and the reversal of Roe v. Wade, I don't think I have anything else to add to that side of the conversation, because I think from what he said, we're on the same page. Where I want to kind of talk about a little bit more is, the reason why our African men are reluctant to do vasectomy. And it's especially now in our generation where, you would expect that people that are around our age range and maybe exposed, or even in they're in the diaspora. So I don't know, maybe it's an assumption that we should be making, but you would think that there is that level of exposure, but it's not. And I think the reason why, and I'm pretty sure you guys have already touched on this as well, is that mentality of like my manhood and who I am is tied to my ability to make somebody pregnant. It's the same way that like women's value is also tied to the ability to bring children, in like being able to birth children. So from a deeper level, I think before any shift can happen and people are even open to having these conversations about you know vasectomies, especially for men, is to start changing that narrative around who you are is not I feel like there's a common thread that happens when we always have these conversations on your platform. Who you are is not really tied to your ability to reproduce. It's steeped into African culture, both on the women's side and on the men's side as well. Is your value to society is tied to your ability to bring children into this world. So when you challenge a person on and I'll do both sides. So if you tell a man that like you need to get a vasectomy so you're not able to get pregnant, it sounds so bizarre. Like obviously the first thing is to be defensive and be like, why do you want to take my manhood away? And then until we start having that shift in conversation that like, look, you are a complete man, right? It doesn't make you a discount, a great value man if you don't have all of your nethers intact. You know what I mean? And then on the other side too, for women, is that conversation of, oh, your value is based on your ability to have children. So when you now decide that I actively want to not have a child, then there's also pushback from society. So I feel like it all goes back to that mindset of, like really creating a holistic way of looking at ourselves as individuals and how we exist in this world. We are not just vessels to produce children, which also ties back to a conversation that we had before, Common Senses, about our approach as Africans, or at least let me just say Nigerians, because I don't want to generalize. Our approach to children.
Yeah.
Before, I don't personally think that a lot of us don't really do the work to actually sit down and think about the implications of bringing another person into this world. So like I think that's why people are having these problems of like vasectomy, no vasectomy, birth control, no birth control. Because if you sit down and think about the consequences of bringing a fifth child after you have four and you're struggling to take care of the four that you have, or you even have one but you can't even do two because the economy right now is tight. I'm not really thinking about it. It's just that, oh, you get married, you born children, and then there's no responsibility of actually being a true parent that's physically there, emotionally there, financially able to support those kids. So you just children everywhere, and nobody is actually taking the time to actually take care of these children. So my own contribution is there just needs to be a shift in mindset about who are we as individuals, and not tie it to our ability to procreate and reproduce and all that. We are so much more. The human experience is so vast that bringing children into this world is not the whole of who you are as a person. So that's just kind of where I wanted to add my own, contribution to this conversation.
Thank you so much, Jay, for your contribution, and thank you, everybody. Now we just want to expanding on that.
Kids, and time other previous live shows, like brilliant on this platform.
I mean, on a Common Sense Squad, the intelligence they turned me on. Oh my God, it stimulates my mind. It stimulates my mind, and it's not just for the fact that we're just talking for talking sake. Like everybody's opinion and submission, both people on the panel and people that in the chat, and the fact that so many minds are watching quietly, and those that will watch in the future,
and we can recollect and tie in past shows
unapologetically.
Correct ones.
Exactly. To
like
see that
does that, Jay does that, even to beat me.
Yeah, it's like, so there's a history of the flow of the Ministry of Common Sense diversively being spread and shared on this platform. And it will be a disservice and a shame to some people who ignore common sense from a wide variety of people. Having said that, we are going to the withdrawal method before we close for the day. Because Honorable Egosa,
yes, so
brought to the platform about the pre-com.
Jay is the brilliant one.
And we are here to show you proof that sometimes even
we're not showing the proof, we came with a guest.
We came with a guest, and this guest is going to tell you from a woman's perspective whether this pre-com is possible or not possible. I don't know if she's speaking on behalf of all women, but she's popularly known as Mama T of Worry.
So we have to worry you to source this person.
I mean, where are we from?
So please, we're for Worry. So only a Worry night to tell you the truth. So let's listen to what Mama T of Worry had to say.
Bruh, when you sleep with girl, you not use condom, anything can happen. All the many stories that they just pretend say, you have a method. You have a method. If you want come, you go draw in, you go put her for bed. It ain't work. Instagram has the work. It ain't work. But when you don't read out your line, you don't understand yourself. Even people who say they get experience past you, they don't understand yourself. For that coming matter, so say you can't draw in. You not fit draw anything. You not fit draw anything. Instead that you use condom, or if the concept they get belly, you do skin to skin, you give the person belly. It should be you have a method. You will draw it in. You put no level be that one. Now all of a sudden they say I have method, withdrawing method. Nothing like withdrawing method. If you give a belly, you give a belly. Now you use condom, or you are responsible for the belly. Now when they say when they do withdrawing method, una stop nonsense.
You have heard Mama Tio, withdrawing method. Please, prevention is better than cure. Now stop one. Why are these people chatting in the private chats? The public cannot see your private
That's
chats.
the privilege of calling in. This is the privilege of calling. When you call in, you can chat privately. People that don't used to call in, this is what you're missing now. There's private chat for people who call in.
Yes.
Now, withdraw method to submission to the table. Don't be saying withdraw Guinea. At least you are here on the platform. You cannot run away as a knight.
Make Temiti tell us more now. Temiti, I bet. Oh yeah.
Hey, you cannot give me Swiss chocolate and tell me that you bought it from Ghana. Now you start with pre-com.
So
I want you, please, with all due respect, not come up with this live panel. I want you now. I want to hear your submission based on Mama T of Worry.
After that, then Dr. Tibiti can talk. But we won't hear it for you.
Yes. What's your opinion?
You have the floor. Please unmute yourself. You have the floor.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. From my experience, is that right? Okay. Every man here know that withdrawal is very difficult too. It's easy to say, but when the time comes to withdraw, it's difficult. It's one of the most. It's one of the most difficult things to do. Quite frankly, it's really difficult. It requires a certain kind of discipline before you practice it before it happens. And most of the time, right, before withdrawal takes place, something even small must have gone through already before you think of taking it out.
Is that what you call the pre-com?
Yeah. Exactly, and even doing sex or even doing Kerewa, right? That pre-com is not 100%. I may be wrong. Temiti is here. I may be wrong, but that pre-com also. Okay. So sometimes that pre-com fails. So that's why sometimes the couple go there and they go say, but I remove this thing out now. How come Beleko enter? You see, so questions like that will go come they happen. Say, how come she would always come out and how come Bele enter? How come pregnancy happen? So that's why I say that a withdrawal is a form of pregnancy prevention. However, it's not 100% safe because on the man's side there, it's tough to do. And the pre-com also, something can happen with that pre-com thing. Yeah, that might not.
That's my submission.
My own submission with that. Someone like me boudoir is stuff. Yeah.
I want to go through the men first.
Yes, before we go, Dr. Timothy, please calm down. Let nobody call Dr. Timothy for inside here.
Because
Dr. Timothy can confirm.
She cannot confirm anything.
I don't know.
Dr. Timothy
When
cannot
I
confirm
free our
anything.
doctor, she give free consultation now. You want to please?
We won't make it a confirm whether pre-com can lead to fertilization. We're not gonna take the anatomy.
Toby, you are next. Toby, you are next. Now you go use your math. Toby say where you dey write from.
Toby, we need your submission on this matter. Based on
I did, and you know me, I don't shy from difficult situations.
you are quality nights. Always.
I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I just posted something. I actually would have preferred to stay in the chat section.
Yes, you can see it clearly.
I mean, what may we read that?
No, not Toby, you go read the quotes.
So yeah, that's from WebMD, and what they're saying is that 78% of the time it's effective. Meaning from their study, 22 out of 100 women, about 1 in 5 will get pregnant. So look, forget the numbers. The bottom line is it's not very effective way. If your objective is to prevent pregnancy, it's not very effective way to do that. That said, from a practical standpoint, I agreed completely with my brother Egosa. Even the most skilled of men, when it comes to, this art called Kerewa, it could be very challenging when you want to rely in terms of, if you want to rely on withdrawal method as your sole method of contraception, it's ineffective. Practically speaking, a lot of people even fail at it. Now, let's even say you're like Rod Stud, you are good, you are very skilled. Microscopically, you are not going to escape. You may not escape having somebody get knocked up from what we just saw. And I'm going to defer to the doctor on this one.
This one is defer to the doctor. Jesus, we say the men we go.
What I'm thankful for is that the doctor today is a woman. Because if now a man doctor, I will say, okay, they can be defend and defend. This is a woman doctor. Before Dr. Titi talks, we are going through all the men. Because also for the men, sometimes even if you want to pull out, the woman can say, where are you going to? You have
two bottles of beer for you. Bah.
Now only we went there the private that enjoy all this your comment. So people for public know they enjoy it.
Yeah, I saw some comments in the private. Guys, please come to the public arena so that we can see what you're typing.
That's the privilege of those that are in the panel.
Now only we go there.
Now only we for panel go enjoy those private.
Yeah, comments. Please put your comments out here so we can see. You raised a very valuable point. Because it's okay. Sorry, finish your thought.
No, finish. I'm not saying that because there are times where the
woman they reach cloud 9.
He don't really
they get there.
It's the first time in many times they are going to that cloud 9.
How can somebody be almost reaching their destination at the
airport?
Babe, I'm coming. It's like you're traveling to Canada from Lagos airport now. Then you're about to land the Toronto PS. Then they say, I don't have to withdraw the flight back to Murtala Mohammed. It's not possible. You will be shattered.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love your traveling analogy.
Because that's a fact.
I think it works very well. Yes. So let's be real. What we're talking about here is not a perfect science. It's an art. The scientific part of it will come when those sperm cells travel. But when you're doing the thing, it's an art. And you guys are right. In the moment, it doesn't matter what you've said to each other. Experience after experience has shown that even women will say, you better not. Like, what do you think you're trying to do? Stay with me. Stay right there. My mother must not be watching this show.
Now you volunteer to show your face for all of us.
But the thing is that we're having the right conversations.
Exactly.
Yeah, we are.
As funny as it is, it's difficult. It's the reality of things. But I get that you people are kind of. I thank you for your honesty because it's very hard to get Africans, especially Nigerians, to be honest about something. The next thing, some people will go biblical on top of sex education. So we appreciate it.
No, definitely. I think that I actually salute you guys' courage to even, especially with the comment you just made now, to be very honest and open. So it's not so much on the man, the woman too has a responsibility. Now, if the objective is, again, let's go back to what it is. If your objective is to enjoy each other sexually, sexual fulfillment, withdrawal for what? Like, what are you withdrawing
But
for?
the fulfillment can lead to responsibility.
That's why it's safe fulfillment. If the objective is just to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, if it's for pleasurable sex, I think withdraw. In my personal opinion, pleasure it defeats the purpose of pleasurable sex when you are practicing withdrawal. That's my personal opinion.
Amen.
Let the church say amen.
Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah.
So if your objective is absolute pleasurable sex, it defeats the purpose. But if the objective is again to prevent conception, then you're wasting time.
So you brought another submission that what is the withdrawal meant for? Is it for pleasure or for prevention?
There you go. So you need to be asking whoever you are that you're still preaching this. You are an evangelist.
Yeah.
For withdrawal, you need to be asking yourself why the gospel you're preaching. What is it for?
Amen.
But because if the objective is it's for absolute pleasurable sex, then you're defeating the purpose. And then the objective is to prevent conception. You're not even achieving that either. It is some archaic olden days that it's now passé. Really, it's in the dustbin of history, and it should be discarded there. There are more effective ways to prevent conception, and then you should just enjoy each other while at it. But don't come here and sound so ignorant and say that then your partner winds up pregnant. Then you say, but I withdraw now. How did you? How did you get married? How did you? I thought that you are. We are both adults here now. I thought we knew what we were doing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Toby.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Yes, amen. Amen.
Amen. They say amen.
All righteous.
Don't be say let the church say. I will say amen. Our church of common sense. First of the great.
Please unmute yourself.
Festus.
Oh geez, what will I say now?
Your opinion based on Mama T's video. As a man.
I don't think what she said is practically it's not too correct, because she was saying why would you withdraw the kind of stuff, She raised a lot of questions, but in a very humorous way. However, let's look at let me speak some medical terminology. Let's look at the anatomy of sex.
No.
Doctor Cynthia, I've already given us anatomy. We know what anatomy
Festus. I know you just say you won't turn my brain.
No, please shoot straight.
You won't talk you when we believe person, what talk like say you don't understand Mama T Pidgin abi. Mama T Pidgin talk say man when they talk say won't withdraw. That thing they work. Now Mama T talk. So if the man, for the most part, say they work. So which means that if the man deposits or say the man get belly,
not the form surprise.
Say
you are shook.
Now the question when I bring to the panel be say this withdrawal method. In reality, is it feasible or it's not feasible?
Toby can add say what is also the purpose of the withdrawal.
So what's your opinion on the matter, Festus? Not take us go anatomy because we don't want to go.
No, we're tired of the biology.
After all, Toby says an art. No one go science.
No one go science.
Okay, if it's an art, okay. A lot of things are art, but even if there's a science behind it.
Anyway. You know science.
Most of us go science class.
You cannot go to science lab because we're not going to
go science class.
Because we're not going to the lab. We're not going to the lab because Kerewa takes place between two humans and only lab. Sometimes it takes things are science. We don't want to go science because we know say this thing are arts, which means that before you go need of science, you go do tests. We don't want the results.
Not everybody understands science.
So first of all, they shoot straight. Not they do us yaga. What's your opinion on the withdrawal issue? Scientific.
All right. On a serious note, withdrawal is effective. However, one has to be conscious of the reading of the body of the woman, because there are some times that you may think that you have withdrawn absolutely, but like who was saying, I think Rusa, when you said the pre-com, all the kind of stuff, that thing can make the woman, if the woman is fertile, that it can make her pregnant at that point. However, on the flip side, have you imagined eating a plate of rice? Let's say jollof rice. You know, Nigerian jollof rice is very sweet. You know, eating a jollof rice with some meat and other kind of rich on top of it. Imagine after eating the food. Something I've observed personally, that after eating and I don't eat meat, I don't feel full or satisfied, even if I drink water. But if you eat a little spoon of food or fufu, other kind of things, and you eat meat, you'll be full. So same, there's some kind of analogy that applies same to sex. When you like have sex with a lady, like all the skin to skin or whatever, and you didn't drop inside of her, she doesn't reach that level of sexual fulfillment. I think Toby was saying that.
Or you.
You can't say now you will not shop meat now.
I'm just saying it from both sides point of view. Now she don't get that level of sexual fulfillment. And something I've observed personally is that when having a GPG bum bum with somebody, when it gets to that time you want to withdraw, that's the time the lady will hold you tight, because at that time the hope editing is sending impulses to her brain, man. That's when she's at the level or at the peak. So she doesn't want you to get out. But you're already seeing that, man, your tank is red. If I don't pull out now, man, this car may crash. But she's not feeling that way. So it depends. So just I think if you want to just understand that why I don't know how to even answer. I'm just kind of a bit confused on this issue. That just look at it. Know the woman's free time. That's better, because when she's free, so even if you drop inside of her, you are still safe. But if she's not free, tell her, please, we can't drop at all, because to avoid some certain things. But if she's free, then okay, be rest assured. Some persons too, after the whole thing, they take I think it is Sprite, or I've forgotten the drink they supposed to take back home. That helps though that flushes everything down. I've forgotten the name. Is it Andrew liver salt or so? Some ladies say things like that. So, but just understand what works for you. If withdrawal doesn't work for you, use a CD. For me personally, I don't really like CD, because CD is like having a shower inside a bathroom. Your whole body, water is touching your whole body, but your whole body is dry. So you don't really feel any impact.
Skin to skin.
Yes, skin to skin.
Wrong.
Yeah,
wrong. Yeah, when you go raw, you can't go raw anymore.
Yeah, no. When you go raw, you don't go wrong.
You go
because
wrong.
You reach the climax of pleasure. Because both fulfilling for both of you. Just stick to what works for you. Man, I can't really feel.
Okay, Festus, thank you.
Thanks for your submission on this issue.
Some of us never see jollof rice the same again, but right on.
Nigerian men, you cannot separate them from food. No, but that's how you can analyze it.
Way you don't eat meat.
I tell that woman they shop meat first too.
Oh, wow.
What do I know?
Every day we learn.
Hello, sisters. Let me just add my 2 cents before we let Dr. Timothy give us her medical perspective. For me personally, I said this in the comment section. Withdrawal method is like playing Russian roulette, and I don't like risk. I've never been one to subscribe to risk. My investments are very low risk, because I just don't like to gamble. That's the thing. And one of the things that Toby had said earlier that I actually think is really important that maybe people are not even thinking about is when you're in a relationship, you have, before you even start having before you start having care with your partner, there's some really important things that you should talk about. When I burst into the dating scene after I had ended my my long-term relationship, one of the biggest things for me is at that time I was like, I don't want to get pregnant. That was like the most important thing to me at that time, because I had certain goals and I had certain things I wanted to accomplish, and I knew that having a child at that time of my life was not going to be was completely out of the question. So when you're having when you meet somebody and you're talking about those conversations, I think people just don't take the time to talk about like what is important to them. You know, like I for me personally, I'm not willing to take that risk of 70% is just, or 78%. I'm not sure what that stat was that Toby shared. It's too, it's too low for me to take that chance. I personally don't think that it works. So I feel like you and your partner, you need to be on the same page, because I don't know who said it, because I've been listening to everybody. When you're in the heat of the passion, that's the worst time to make a logical decision, because your common sense, your logic has left the room. It left the room already. So you can't even be making those, rational decisions. It's just, I don't know, it just sounds so risky to me that I'm not willing to participate in at all. And then when you get to the point where you think that you're ready to start having children, then you can have another conversation on what type of contraceptive will work for you. But I would not recommend withdrawal method at all, unless like maybe your partner is allergic to latex or something, and then you can't be on birth control because maybe your body doesn't react to it. But I would not recommend withdrawal method for anybody, especially young people that are just starting to have sex. No, that's my take.
Okay, thank you so much, Jay. Thank you for your submission on this matter.
In this space,
we have somebody called P that just joined us. Dr. Timothy, do you want to go first, or you want P to go first?
Maybe let's hear P first then.
Yeah. So P,
you can unmute yourself. Hello, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
But we're not hearing you if you're speaking.
Maybe you have to unmute yourself.
They're already unmuted, but I don't know what's going on.
Okay. I guess the P has it figured out there.
P, whenever you can speak out, but we'll just have Dr. Timothy speak, because we can't hear anything. Like if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Timothy.
All right, guys. So I've been laughing my head off.
Now so go laugh now.
Oh my gosh.
Now
I'm gonna go from two angles, right? I'll do my medical side and I'll do my my TV side, right? Yeah. So which one do you want first?
Medical side first.
Oh, right, let's do medical side. Serious stuff first.
Please give us the medical. Let us
please. When you do the medical,
when
you do the medical, please rush it.
I'll rush it. Yeah. Quickly. Earlier on when we were talking about vasectomy, I just wanted to talk quickly about the reversal. Yes. It's not 100% accurate. You get about 40 to 97% reversal success rate with that, and the rate is higher. If you've got a shorter duration from the procedure to when you want to reverse. Do you understand? So I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah. So coming to the withdrawal, so any form of contraception that you've got success rate of 78% is too low. I agree with J Ray. According to research, it is too low. So usually a reliable contraception should have rates of 97% and above. Yeah. So when you had 99, 90, 97, that's fine. But 78 is a failure when you're talking about contraception. So let's just scratch that. About withdrawal. So about the pre-cum, rightfully, as Egose said, sometimes for some men, their spermatozoa are actually very motile. So you can actually have some of those funny sperm cells can just swim a bit faster than the others. Yeah. And then if the lead is quite, some people are more fertile than the others. So some people can still get pregnant with that. about what Festus was saying. Festus was kind of bringing in what we call a billings method, where you kind of like count the safe and unsafe days of a woman. That also has a significant failure rate, so it's not reliable. Yeah, and it has a whole lot of things that you have to fulfill some criteria. Yeah, so she has to have a perfect regular cycle, a whole lot of things that we consider before. So because of all that complexity, it's no longer advocated for. Yeah. But I know, so let me come to my own side. Yeah, let me come to the table. Yeah,
please, Dr. Timothy, before you speak. Private side, they say don't rush. We're not in Russia. Please rush. Thank you for rushing that. The science part, because those who not call early for class, when they say back of class after the lecture, you can replay the. Please, before Dr. Timothy enter the acts of things, make sure that you have give this video. Back down, jeez. Pre-com, they make my English. They come back. Giving this video a thumbs up. You have liked, you have shared, and all that good stuff. Yeah, please. So Dr. Timothy, please write us. We are going to the class right now. We want to climax.
So make I talk my own levels. Yeah. And this one, no one should quote me. I'm not speaking as a doctor now. I they talk. We just do jabs. Disclaimer.
Let me this is not Dr. Timothy speaking.
Now Timmy they talk now.
This is Timothy.
They talk.
And not also of you that don't understand British accents. This is Timothy coming as a human being. Now she has removed her professional coat. She don't come out the doctor cloth. She's coming as a check heartbeats.
So Nina no quotes me, right?
Yes, and do not quote and say according to if I catch you. Everywhere is clear now.
So me, I know like you see that billings thing, that one way they count safe and unsafe. I they use them, especially when I did uni, right? And I know get better. You get, of course, but then my boyfriend then use CD, but I they use that billings and it work for me because my cycle be perfect, like be like clockwork. She gets. Yeah.
Calendar was
yes.
Champion in that area. Yeah.
So there's a way we can do the counting. Probably maybe another time we go. I go tell babes how you go fit jump. So if you get regular, yes. So that one will give you some some window of hey, you will see they you can still you take some risks, right? Yeah. So for the withdrawal, sometimes like even for hobby, my husband sometimes would, but usually I they prefer say when me say they safe. Do you understand? So when I know say okay, last they happen. You get and if I'm thinking to say I know they too sure, you go every female you guys get emergency contraception for house. She get so if anything happen, you could just take the tablet, right? Even for me, no, all those things don't work. Now let me tell you about some of those things. Now, what they tend to do, they go make that place there a bit acidic. Do you understand? Can give you like a semi-acidic pH, but it's not. If you fat where you go enter. No.
Also, women when they just touch, everything just be twins.
So you understand? So yeah. So now so you understand? So for off record, if your cycle perfect, yeah. So that ending part where the near time where you won't do menses, that part they more safer than that one we end after you do menses. You understand?
So the beginning of the blood flow is actually safer period than the end of the cycle.
No. Now, the end when you're about to start another cycle is safer. That last part. You see that beginning part after you finish your flow. That part they very because now that part near your ovulation period. Sometimes for some women 10 days. For some, 11 days. And some men's sperm feed they stay 72 hours. So if you go do, say, okay, I bleed 5 days or 4 days, I go do 6 days, say, I see safe. Then maybe the thing can ovulate that kind of night or midnight, be overnight to 10th. And the sperm see they are alive. You go meet egg. She gets so. So that part after your flow, that part is a tricky part. You understand? It's tricky. The part that is most stable is the part after your ovulation, towards the beginning of a new cycle. So if you know, say you will start bleeding tomorrow, right? For at least 3 days before, you nothing dey happen.
Okay, so if so it's safer to wipe before your ovulation.
No, before your next menses.
So you go don't finish your menses.
For example, now if person wants
no, see they mix them up. Okay, imagine say my menses is due tomorrow, right? You understand? So tomorrow na Sunday. So that means say from like Thursday, I feel the fire, nothing dey happen.
I see.
You get that?
I see.
That latter part, they safer. They more regular. Yes. Yeah, they more regular than that earlier. And is the earlier one I many people know. Say the 5 days after the end of your flow. She get so now that one they cause wahala, because if you go ovulate earlier than that, if you don't have that regular ovulation of day 14, you understand? And even for some women, we say don't born. Like after you born, sometimes your ovulation they day earlier. Means you go push maybe day 13, day 12. She get. So if you get cycle of 21 days, some people get cycle of 25 days. So the day you go the ovulate, they different from the day person will get 28 days cycle go the ovulate.
Oh, I see. Wow.
Like plenty mathematics.
Men in the house.
Now mathematics. So that's why that believes when it did tricky. Do you understand? So it did a whole lot of things inside. So we know today.
And even to add on your point, Dr. Timothy, even for people who were never pregnant before, sometimes when you change environment, your days they change.
Cycle they change.
So stress, exactly. So stress so stress can delay your flow. You know, it can affect your hormonal balance. Yeah, stress, anything for women. That one they happen. Sometimes you go even say you don't get belly, and you know need man. So so that it can alter a whole lot of things. So you can see that it's not so reliable, because a whole lot of things can distort it. So we know the day inside book. In fact, in the guideline, they don't come out them. But from Niger, we don't learn that one. They know they teach them for here. They know they teach them at all. The curriculum. But for Niger, we see they use that one sometimes, because I know like we they talk vasectomy and all that. We know say our men are small before we go get them to do that stuff. Then the other contraception, while I feel the day, like for me, if I take this, it go they give me headache. Some they go so exactly. So, but this IUS they good. That one we say you go put we call it levonorgestrel. It be like copper. Yeah, it's not like copper IUCD. Yeah, so it's like it's like this copper that you put it inside. They put it inside the womb. So that one is good. That one they do 5 years. Nothing they happen. But for some women, some people see they say that little hormone where they really say they make them fat. They add weight. So they give some people some side effect. They make some people bleed. Some know they see menses at all. Some people, some women too know if they know see menses, they don't like how say, they let them feel like say they be woman. That kind of thing. Yeah. So for Festus, no do that counting thing. It's very, very, very. It's not. Yeah.
It's not reliable. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. We're rounding up now.
All right, guys.
We're rounding up now. Lara on the beat. Lara, how you go there UK? Dr. Timothy. This now Lara on the beat. No. This now Lara UK. Yes.
Yes.
Lara Abuja. This now Lara on the beat where they always
they bring
violence. Yes.
Lara, come late to class. They ask us what are we talking about.
Lara, you missed this thing, but no, you don't have to be sorry, my beloved. You have to watch it from the beginning to understand what you miss. You miss Baje.
Now tree we plant for here. We just grow, germinate.
I'm telling you. Even before pre-com, it's really nice. Thank you so much, everybody. So we've talked extensively. So we're already rounding up. We've come to the end of this particular talk of today. I believe that the lady who sent us an email will watch and learn a lot
and share with
and share with
her husband.
her husband, and hopefully they will have a conversation on what to do next that will work for their family planning strategy or their union. The best advice is when you listen to it, when you hear what everybody have to say and pick what works for you. That's what I have to say. So anyone going first for final submission on today's topic? We know they do live show too. I hope everybody's okay with that.
Do you plan on doing a second live show? It's echoing.
I know they know what the Warrior Australia sounds. They always the echo.
Guys, make us zoom. It's almost 10 p.m. here.
Yeah, so
thank you so much.
Mute your mic.
Yeah.
So Dr. Timothy, okay, you go first.
Yeah, all right, guys. Yeah, I think that's a whole lot. For people just joining in, I would say probably if you just rewind and start from the beginning. It's been such a didactic one today. We brought in angles from medical, social, legal, a whole lot of things into the package. And I just want to thank the Common Sense Sisters for you bringing all these lovely topics to educate us. And also, even no matter how much you think you know, you'd always gain one thing or the other from these programs. Thank you so much, lovely ladies, and thanks for the panelists. Toby man, yeah, Toby my man, yeah. Don't do that withdrawal thing, you.
I mean, the shoe straight under.
Hey, there is God, though. There is God, though. There is God, though. There is God, though.
Egosa, Testy Great, J-Ray, my lovely sister. Love you. Bye-bye.
Toby, just hang in there. You're going to be the last. Just hang in there.
The last. Okay. All right. That's fine.
That was for Festus to cash.
Yes. Festus.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, I'm here. Yo.
Yes.
All right. Very quickly. The doctor is she has some medical perspective and some biological angle of it. However, like she said, I had to thoroughly educate myself on the aspect of sex education. So what she said in the latter part, as regard our own personal view, that I've done effectively. So I like to do it like before the lady commences like the next cycle. Those times are pretty safe. So even if you are dropping like this thing, like a album, you're pretty covered. So that's why I said just try and understand the rhythm of the lady's body. I even tell my babe, you are free this time. Because from the time the person ovulates, because ovulation is just one day, from that ovulation till she has the next cycle, man, you can be firing. But before ovulation, that's after the cycle, and you drop like an apple, man, it can stay. So if your sperm stays 72 hours, she can get pregnant. So you're at risk. So if you're doing withdrawal, if you're doing that calculation like me, you have to be very smart about it. You have to be intentional too, and also know if the lady has like perfect distant cycle, and stress too come in place. So if she does, she's not, just make life a bit much easier for her, so that there'll be less stress. Try and give her a lot of emotional support. Physical touch. Taking her out, just make her feel at ease. So as far as the stress level is low, that will not affect her hormones, which will like cause some imbalance in terms of our menstrual cycle. So just try and understand the other person's point of view, and also discuss, even if you are married, discuss that of like in terms of having children. If you want to have children, for instance, you guys say, okay, do we need to have children immediately are getting married? Are we having it in the next 6 months? What are the plans? So if both of you are on the same page on an aspect of on the aspect of your relationship in terms of like sex and children, it's much easier for you to like do withdrawal, because she now understood, she doesn't want you to come into her as at that point in time. But if both of you are not on the same page, you are the one that is initiating it and she hasn't consented to it, she's not in line with what you're doing, both of you have some friction. So, but if you agree on something, it's easier for her to tell you, please, don't come inside of me, or let's use CD until like we're ready, So just work out what works for both of you. because each cases are peculiar and different. Lastly, on the issue of vasectomy, I am for despite as educated and as exposed as I am, I'm very, very much like I said, I have deeply conservative beliefs when it comes to family setting. I'm still very, very reluctant in that aspect of vasectomy. So now I could just imagine what women go through and you tell them, oh, be on family planning. Man, for us men, we're not even willing, despite our level of exposure, to accept that concept. So, like I said in my opening remarks earlier, the decision of abortion or whatever lies is the sole decision of the woman, her relationship partner, and her physician. If she decides to take it out, please, society, don't be quick to judge her. Understand where she's coming from. So I know a lot of ladies whose life has been ruined just because of one single pregnancy. So please, let's help the girl child. Let's support them. Let's not be quick to criticize them. Let's understand their point of view, understand their pain, and know why they're doing some certain things. No woman in a rightful sense will gladly take out a baby. Before a woman resort to abortion, there are reasons why. Try and understand her reason, look at it from different perspective, and don't just bring in your religious or your personal inclination. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Festus. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for your submission and opinion on this topic. We sincerely appreciate you and for your time, and we hope that you feel better and try to get some rest as well. Okay.
Thank you so much.
From your submission, you seem to be an intentional guy. So
Yes.
kudos to you and your woman.
Yes.
All right, and
Yes.
have a wonderful rest of your day in Australia.
It's on Sunday.
On Sunday, yeah. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Egosa, Abijay, who is going first? Egosa.
Let me go.
Oh, you want to go first?
Okay, Jane. Okay.
Battery's about to die, and
Okay, go.
okay. So just to reiterate some of the things that I said earlier, I think the biggest thing that I hope whoever is listening that's still, on the fence about considering birth control or family planning seriously is, there's so much more to you than having children. Your life has more significance than just being a vessel for either birthing children or impregnating somebody. So I think once you get over that hump, it's easier for you to make that decision to actually think critically about birth control. And once we have that change in mindset, hopefully people start thinking about the consequences of bringing children into this world, not just because they think they can, right? So that's the first point that I would like to make. On the second point around, vasectomy, pulling out, whatever it is that we want to call it, I think Festus alluded to it, I can't remember who did, but it's very important that we need to over-communicate when you're in a relationship, whether it's serious, whether it's casual, whatever you're doing, we're all adults, whatever type of relationship that you're in that actually ends up leading to sex. Let us have those serious conversations. I know those conversations are not sexy, they are not fun, especially because people are very afraid to find out that maybe the person that they already have deep attachment to doesn't have the same mindset as them or doesn't want the same thing. But honestly, having those tough conversations at the beginning helps make sure that you're one on the same page, and two, it prevents future complications, right? So if a couple gets together and they say, okay, at the beginning of this relationship, right now, I'm not even going to consider having kids right now. And I'm trying to mirror the conversation that I have with my partner right now. I told him look, I'm not having kids right now. There's nothing you can say. There's no picture you can show me that will convince me to have kids right now in my life. So if you're not interested in that type of relationship where we're focused on building our lives together and all that stuff, then perhaps, now is not the time for us to be together. And then when you intend on having kids, let's talk about it. How many children do you want? How many children can you afford? How many children do you have time and energy to actually look after properly? And then you start having the conversations from there. You land on a number, you might even compromise here and there. But it's easier to have the conversation at the beginning than already have 5. And then you're pregnant for the 6th one and you're like, what should we do? It's I don't know. I feel like we just have this wishy-washy, unserious approach to child rearing and having children, that we need to really look critically at that mindset. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Happy Saturday. It was nice catching you live finally, and my internet actually works today. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jay. We appreciate you and your contribution and submission on this matter. Yeah. Bossa, where did you run to?
Oh, he said he got to leave now.
Waiting for me outside.
Oh,
okay, no wahala. Anyways, all right.
Thank
So
you
thanks
so
so
much,
much, Jay,
Jay.
and have a wonderful
Saturday.
weekend. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, shoot.
Remove that.
Sorry, you wanted to say something. I'm sorry.
No, saying bye.
Okay, all right then.
Bye.
Bye. We end with the squad. For the night of the squad. The night
My
of the squad.
in the words of Rochas Okorocha, my people, my people.
Oh, you just speak out to complete it.
Man, first of all, let me just say that you guys please get well very soon. You know, we need that ginger back.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. You guys already know. So I'll be remiss if I don't mention that. You know, eat all the okra and all the egusi. You guys are chefs, so you know what to eat to bounce you back.
Yeah.
So
sometimes chefs want people to just cook for them.
I
was telling them like yesterday, say, make I just cross my leg. Make somebody just tell me, say, I've ordered for something and it's been delivered to me.
yeah.
Somebody orders from you, malicious, and we have to cook it for our own self.
No, that one na wicked. That one na wickedness. Now let them patronize somebody else.
Anyway, so the panel has been amazing today. I don't want to, for my last comment, I don't want to basically repeat what has been said. I want to speak to the conservatism that Festus was talking about, which is really what underscores some of these things at the core, even all the way to the Supreme Court here in the United States. You got the conservatives that are actually dominating the conversation. And if you ask them, what is at the core of this is the belief system, the Christian belief system. You know, to anyone out there who is listening, and you think that maybe if you take a decision over your body to have an abortion or contraception, you are committing sin. I can tell you the background to that without wasting time. You know, it goes all the way back to olden days era. Actually, in the Torah, in the Jewish religion, some guy in the book of Genesis, you know, back then you take over your brother's wife when he dies, and then he took over the wife, but he was not interested in fathering a child by her. So what he did in that story was that whenever they were having sex, you guessed it, he withdrew. He pulled out. Speaking of withdrawal, yeah, it's in the Bible. Go and read it, Genesis 38. The story is there. So the guy, every time he was having sex with the lady, he will pull out and drop the semen on the ground. And so for a long time, the lady never had a child. And the story says the Lord killed him. The Lord struck him. Basically, God killed him for withdrawing. Now, that is what informs this belief system that abortion is a sin, contraception is a sin. So it transferred over from the era of that era to the time for the Catholic Church. The debate picked up again. I mean, even before the church, guys like Aristotle, Plato, they got involved. But when the church came on as an organized body, the Catholic Church, I mean, Rome, because of their political power all over the world, they now basically made the law and made it a rule that if you commit an abortion, it's a sin against God, and it's at that time they were even punishing them. You know, so what I'm saying is that if you have somebody out there,
so we know when you talk, we like to pull our receipts, so we actually literally just googled this there. So anybody interested, we literally just said, you know, whatever, Genesis 38. So apparently, it's verse 9 and 10.
Yes,
interesting.
Yeah, Onan. That's the guy's name. His name is Onan. Yeah. So this is what, guys, this is what informs this old belief system that abortion is a sin, because the guy pulled out, and according to the author, God struck him dead. You know, so but it's one story, it's somebody's opinion, like we've always emphasized on this show. You know, take the Bible or the book for what it is, but these are modern times. These are modern times. Times have changed. We don't take over our brothers' wives anymore. Maybe some cultures still do that. But we're moving away from that culture. We're moving away from that mindset. And it is ludicrous for you to be held down in your life today by some old archaic belief system way back then. So anyways, I just wanted to quickly say that for anyone who is still held down mentally by this belief system, that if you decide to have an abortion, you are sinning against God, or if you decide to use contraception, you are saying no. It's what people came up with, and it has traveled over time. Having said that, men, if you're a man and you are out there, come on, guy. The responsibility to have a child, not to have a child, shouldn't be on your woman alone. And so don't get stuck in your old way of thinking. Get education, get enlightened, study. Whether you went to school or not, at least read, self-educate. Don't put the responsibility of what to do or what not to do on your partner, on your woman. You have a part to play as well. Times are changing. Don't get stuck in your old way. Otherwise, you will not be happy in that relationship. I can tell you now. Because
I didn't see that part coming.
Come on, sister. I've been a liar, talk.
You are very correct. You are very correct. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. So do you want to be happy or do you want to be sad? Your choice. No, your choice. So anyway, this is a very great conversation to have, and I'm glad I was actually part of it today. And so for all the people that are watching and that are going to watch this video later, glean so much from this, learn so much from this, and begin to shift. Begin to have a change of mindset. And if there's anything you don't know, learn. You can learn, and then you can grow in your understanding. But it doesn't help you when you are stuck in some old way of thinking. I would never be satisfied if I don't talk about our people, my culture, my country.
We have
and our culture.
As far as you want to, that's fine.
We can't run away from that. So it is very sad that we still in 2022 we still have people who are telling people that if they get an abortion or if they are using contraception or whatever, they are committing sin against God and all those things. Mr. Preacher, Mr. Mommy Gio, Daddy Gio, you are stuck in the past. You can lie and say God spoke to you. He didn't. I know he didn't.
Are you a prophet?
It is you. It is your mindset. It is your belief system. Because you have not considered. I'll say this finally, and I'll be quiet. Common sense sisters. Look at the duplicity. Look at the insincerity and the hypocrisy of the conservative movement.
Yeah.
You say all abortion is a sin, except for 3 instances. 1, incest. 2, complicated pregnancy, where the life of the woman is at stake.
Yeah.
3, rape. So you would allow abortion in those 3 instances, even though we agree all of those are terrible cases. But any other case, you permit. Yeah, sorry, you allow abortion there, but you don't allow abortion in other cases. So you are telling us that the lives, even though we agree those instances are terrible experiences, but the life of the child conceived in those instances is not worth saving. That's the hypocrisy and the double standards here.
Yeah, and even what Festus was saying that time about the fact that there are children who are hungry, who are starving, and care for them.
America is not talking about.
We don't want to go deep into the gun laws.
We don't want to. Yeah, exactly. We don't want to. So I'm just speaking to my people who are listening, because this thing is deeply entrenched back home in our culture, and they don't even try to entertain another opinion on the matter. They just go by what they've been told or what they read from the book. It's the same thing Festus was saying about the Constitution. I mean, I like the way he paralleled the Constitution and the Bible.
Yeah.
It was written by men for men. White men. I mean, think about it. But now we're trying to adapt these old writings it's like I said one time when we had this conversation. It's about trying to understand the writings of Nostradamus, right? You know, so he said something way back then. Something happens today. We go back to his writings. They're like, there's a comma here. There's a full stop over there. You know what it didn't mean. We're reading into the text.
Yeah.
You know, so why are you doing that? You have your life. You are the sole architect of your life. You are responsible for what happens to you. If you choose to have that child, it's your prerogative. If you choose not to have it, it is your sole right. Don't let anyone tell you what to do about when it comes to, because whatever you choose, you're going to face the consequence, and they are not going to be there to help you. You know, they stand from their ivory tower, from their pedestal, and they dish out this moral platitudes to you. They tell you what you're supposed to do. But when it's their own child, they know what to do behind the scenes.
Exactly.
They know how to take care of business. Exactly. But they come out because they have to come out and tell you those things. So anyways, Common Sense Sisters, I stop it there. Thank you for what you do. And we love you.
Thank you, Toby. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for showing your face on behalf of everybody.
Yes, you made it very colorful.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right.
Have a wonderful weekend.
July 4th. Yeah.
And a happy July 4th.
Yeah, thank you. All right. See you guys next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Yeah.
So thank you, everyone. Everybody's
echoing what Toby
everybody
has
was
said,
feeling
100%.
Everybody was feeling what Toby was saying, man.
As they preach with the years,
everybody they feel waiting to be they talk. Yeah, he didn't speak to you. Yes, that's what Toby was saying. You know, I think once more
then we even learn they've not gotten the full message.
Yeah, exactly. That they are waiting. That they are waiting. You know what? Yes, thank you so much, President. You know what we always say, we bring the difficult topics. We bring the topic that's so difficult for people to have with somebody that they care about or they are intimate with. We bring them to this platform because we know that we have very intelligent minds. And the beauty of the live show is that we don't even know what to expect, because even us, the Common Sense Sisters, we are learning. We have learned a lot. I want to first of all specially appreciate Dr. Timothy. I don't know if she was in my spirit, because as I was about to mention her name to ask if she's able to come in, Dr. Timothy just click the link. That's how you know somebody that not just go to medical school just because they want to be called doctor, but they are intentional about impacting their community.
She went to medical school. Medical school went through her. She was remembering all the names of all those organs. I remember having to cram some of all this in biology class. That's the most to remember. Having to cram them, but with the diagram, everything she was able to explain. It's as if we planned it with her. But we didn't. She was saying virtually every single thing that we read about in all these articles. And we didn't have to go through the articles because we did not know that we're going to meet an expert
in this. And that's Dr. Timothy. So Dr. Timothy in the UK, we appreciate you so much. We thank you for the privilege of your time. We thank you for your fun, for your laughter, for your champagne voice, for everything that you do to make this. You bring the medical, I don't just know how to say it. Like, when I say Nigerian doctors, people don't understand. You have to experience a Nigerian doctor.
See, we that were in Canada here. They will tell you Canada has free healthcare. We've been on the wait list for a family doctor for the past 2 months. The Nigerian doctor,
we wait patiently.
We wait patiently. So who said that we need Nigerian doctors in Canada? We literally mean it.
Yes. So I mean,
she's well grounded in medical knowledge. She highly intelligent.
And another thing Dr. Timothy possesses is that she's very empathetic,
comical about it.
She's comical,
very understanding.
She knows how to explain it and break it down. That you who did not go to medical school or you went for biology, you don't feel inferior. You know, and just seeing the way she was able to understand from Egosa's submission, where he was coming to Festus,
and to Jay, and to Toby, she carried everything
along.
Oh my God, it was oh my goodness.
Kai. No, while President say I go miss you now. Can't dial onto the live until I'm back in August. How I will survive today? Today was live challenge. No while.
The shows it will always be there.
We did. So one also appreciate people that came on the panel. We appreciate Gosa. We appreciate the Knights of the Squad. We appreciate Festus. Because Festus we know even well. Festus in his own sickness, he said, he must come in to talk. He brought the Constitution, brought the Bible, brought the law, even with his views, critical thinking.
Even with his conservative views, he was able to understand liberal views and understand some respect that is inherently for them.
And it's also an intentional man when they carry
they can't calendar more than we will be women.
Me say, I'm telling you, no.
And for Jay,
and then for Jay,
despite all Roger's internet interruptions,
and you know she came into. Yeah, then first and two, we appreciate everyone
and
all those of you engaging in the comment section, from Miriam to Amaka to Name to Nazo asking questions. We appreciate you. Listen, Lara on the beat. Lara on the beat come late, but to say waiting the happen. Saying Lara na Vase and Freakum they happen. Where we talk about withdrawal method. We even went to Worry to bring Mama T of Worry. We joked about it, we laughed about it, we shared knowledge, and we learned.
Very wholesome conversation.
The beauty of this thing is that this knowledge is here forever to stay.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So when you're having doubts or you're having those fear of those conversations, come and watch the videos and hear from different people's perspectives.
Remember to share the video as well.
Yeah,
don't forget to like. We can't just leave it in our heads like this. We have to share the video.
Don't forget to like and to subscribe. We ourselves will be on our own to try and feel better so that we can show our faces because we know that people enjoy the energetic vibe. Yeah. And even know. First of all, say maybe because we know they well. I make it know they well.
Australia, beg.
Now what? Remember they transmit good health to one another. So thank you everyone, and let's go to item 7 on the list before we get close. Let's go and
have some food.
Some food. So if you know you're in the GTA area, that's Greater Toronto area, and you are hungry, you thirst for delicious. You see jollof rice coming to the show today. When Nigerians are gathered, there's item 7 on the list.
There's always food.
You have to visit yoyomalicious.com and place your order. It is approved by the Common Sense Sisters.
Welcome to Yoyomalicious, the best Nigerian online food service in Toronto, Canada. We deliver to Toronto, Concord, downtown Toronto, Etobicoke, North York, Thornhill, Vaughan, Woodbridge, Mississauga and Scarborough. Order now at yoyomalicious.com. A unique taste of Nigeria. Follow us on Instagram at yoyomalicious. Like and share this video. Nigeria to the world.
Thank you so much for being here. And if you have any stories you would like to share or you want to email us about something, our email is right there on the screen on commonsensesisters@gmail.com.
Yep.
Also, remember that we are unfortunately absent from Instagram because our account has been disabled for the past 1 week. So if you work in Facebook or Instagram or you know anybody that works in these spaces on Meta, I beg,
please let us know.
Let them reveal our accounts for us. I beg. 1 week is too much already.
Yeah.
We need our Instagram account back. It's very, very precious to us. Okay. And also for people who are still here, we will not be here next week Saturday. We have an event that we are attending to. So,
yeah.
So we won't be here next Saturday. I'll also update that in the community page as well.
Yeah. And if there's anything worrying your mind and you feel like, Momo, I need this topic to be addressed, you can always email. Remember, the lady emailed us today, and it's out of this lady's email were able to all learn a lot. I do not know the lady, but she said she's a common sense squad person. So obviously she's anonymous, but I assume that she's also listening. And she's learned a lot, and her story has inspired us to also unpack a lot of information today, right? Okay. Amaka,
yes, so we're not here now. They
invited us for an event, and we have to attend that event. And coincidentally,
it's on July 9th.
It's on July 9th, and it coincided with our time. We could not say no to the request for us to attend.
Months ago, so
yeah.
You say I'm not mad about it. Maybe they come out in summer. We only have 2 months left of it.
Yes, and it looks like June just they June us out.
June don't go.
And we know that. Yes, you are. And we also know that I hope people have been watching our daily videos.
Daily video concerning Nigerian elections.
Let me just give you this juice.
Hope everybody get their PVC.
Let me give you this juice. If you are in the diaspora, and diaspora means once your foot has stepped outside Nigerian border, even if it's Benin Republic, you are in the diaspora. If you do not know, I'm telling you now.
Don't share to people in Benin.
No. That's diaspora. You're already outside Nigeria, right? If you authentically want to know what's happening in the political space of Nigeria, you have to go on Twitter. Do not rely on what you're seeing on Instagram alone. Don't rely solely on the newspapers or WhatsApp. You have to be on Twitter in real time. That's what it's happening. People are giving accounts of what's going on. As time goes on, maybe in future live shows or whatever, we'll have strengths. We unpack everything that's going on, because we know we have a section of Common Sense Squad who are interested in updates. We're doing our own intense research and information gathering, so that will come. Okay. Don't forget to take very good care of yourself. To our American squad members, we wish you a happy Independence Day, happy July 4th.
And
to the Canadian ones, happy post-Canada Day, because that was yesterday. And thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It's very, very important. And if you feel like you didn't have opportunity to speak here, or there's some other things you want to add, please feel free to drop that in the comment section. Every opinion counts, and it's important as long as you stay on topic. Remember, focus on the topic and not the individual, because everybody has the right to choose what they want to believe in, right? Well, until we see you and share the video. Until we see you all next time. I hope they comment again. Nobody want more go. Yes, Festus. We know you're a member of the school. Yeah, until we see you all next time, please make common sense never depart from you. And if it should depart from you, come back and watch the videos.
Take
bye,
care, everybody.
And
bye.
Bye.